and show it. Tell me what you feel in your heart and your soul. There's nothing I would take for granted. With me, we'll make it through. Takes two hearts to fix heartbreak. We grew apart, I made a mistake, but I'll try to make it up to you, my darling. Ooh.
I wanna be a real one day. Heaven leaves me up from under. Wishing I could be somehow stronger now,
So I can fight away all the pain inside me. Never be afraid of the fate that finds me.
wish that I could be
Stronger,
so I can be a real one day.
so I can fight away all the pain inside me. Never be afraid of the fate that finds me. Wish that I could be stronger,
So I can be a real one day.
We keep running faster and faster. I don't know what we're after, yeah. We keep up with disaster, disaster. I'm thinking that they're after me. We're running like faster and faster. We're running like faster and faster. We keep running faster and faster. I don't know what we're after, yeah. We keep up with disaster, disaster. I'm thinking that they're
Welcome to the LXC.
ranks rise up, League of Legends pride, amateurs unite in LXC lights. Crusader League we fight, champions by our side, Emerald dreams ignite our night. LXC we play, Emerald all the way, victory in sight, shining in the night.
For Galio, and this tower is the only thing defending them. Meanwhile, Amumu is just alone. There's just no follow-up. Ults on 2 people, but we'll get taunted. We'll get Galio ulted. Aatrox will go down. However, Jinx is
Onset in the
about to get a
background,
reset.
though.
Swain's getting a lot. Yeah, it does look like Sivir got a kill. But once Jinx gets a kill, she gets resets, and that's more important. Resilient doesn't get the assist, though. Has to cleanse too late. And Huber will also go down, potentially. He will. That'll be a shutdown for Onside, and Onside is absolutely tall with a root and also a Caitlyn ult was blocked.
And
so Gwen is
top lane
just getting
though.
the top tower.
Yeah,
Badger
I
is not
think-
sure what to do. Trying to stay here to protect the Skarner spell shield will completely mess up that ultimate as Quinn trying to find anything. Gwen is not even teleporting, by the way. God's Glory has to flash out. It is
No,
pretty low.
Gwen is just
but that
ending
is
the
gonna end their
game.
Tower. The recall is coming out from Quinn with that improved recall, but
Stop the
actually
recall.
going to get canceled by her death as Gwen continues on a flank position. God's Glory jumping in onto him. Ezreal trying to put down some damage right now, but it's only a clone. Meanwhile, Xin Zhao is jumped on. Bard ult also prevents a lot of damage. And now
Watch Resilient though.
with the
Resilient's
Zen
doing
down,
damage.
I just don't think Onset can do much right now. Badger looking for an ultimate. Nice double stun. God's Glory also looking for Badger. Will go down. Can't even finish the ultimate on Resilient, which would have been massive. Onset just
Knock
can't
out by
carry this by
420.
himself. Because 420 is down. Onset is just trying his best, but his team is falling around him. As he will also go down after at least killing the Kale. But that will be an ace, and they have the opportunity for Clown Gaming to either go for turrets or go for souls.
In the night, power flows through neon light. Summoner's Rift, we take the dive. In the LXC, we come alive. We strategize 5 on 5. Pushing lanes, we've got the drive. Nexus falls, it's all a race. In the LXC, we find our place. Feel the beat of destiny. In the LXC, we're wild and free. League of dreams, a legacy. We fight till...
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Crusader. We're in the semifinals. It's so exciting. I'm here with Scarlet, and I'm here with Soulkeeper. Hello, Soulkeeper.
How are you doing tonight, Scarlet?
Great. I'm excited for this best of 5. It is going to be between Eli and Bloom Gaming Lotus. As Eli is
Elysium
Elysium.
Choco Pancakes, as they have
okay. Sorry. The full name. I like to give them little nicknames, you know. But Elysium has chosen red side because they have side select. They're the highest seed.
Yes.
And I'm kind of excited for this match because I think you were telling me that it's pretty close on which one could actually take it out. Eli's obviously the higher seed, but looking at it, it's kind of interesting how we got here because it's Bloom Gaming that got an upset last week over NO Phoenix in a 3-2.
Yes.
Because that's usually the side that would have the excuse me, that would usually be the side that has a higher seed. But with the upset, it's now Elysium that has it.
Apologize, a little bit of feedback there on your mic, Scarlet. Not sure.
Oh,
But,
let me refresh that. It might take a second, but you can take the commentary for a second while I fix that.
Sure. Yep, Bloom is coming off that massive upset that everybody had seemed predicted, and Bloom proved everyone wrong, taking out the #1 seed, who I think they only dropped 2 games all split, and taking them to a best of 5 and coming out on top. So big matchup tonight. It's going to be Banana Man versus Watercat. Both of them have been excellent mid laners, all split.
I do love whenever mid lane's the feature matchup, and hopefully my mic is better. If not, we'll try again.
All right, let's see. Is my mic coming across now? It should be.
Good. So some normal technical difficulties to start a stream, classic, but
a little bit of stuff.
all the players are here though, so I think as long as our tech stuff goes okay, I think we're gonna get into draft pretty quickly. Although I see so much chat, I just scroll up so far for the draft, so it looks like the players are a little chatty today, which you like to see.
Yeah, it's always good to see that players all get along, enjoy the messages,
Hmm.
making sure my
I think
everything on my side is good. Okay, excellent. Stream can't actually hear me now.
nice. Okay, so I'm not just talking to myself. Good, good.
It is perfect.
So I don't know what you said that people missed, but I think we basically covered it from my side mostly.
Yeah, just touched
we got
real quick on Bloom's
the
massive
mid lane matchup.
upset over NOP like you did, and then the mid lane matchup between Banana Man and Watercat. Are the arguably two best mid laners left. Is
Yeah, I don't
sitting
think
here.
I've seen Watercat or her. I haven't seen her play actually on stream yet. Has she been on stream before?
Watercat
So,
has
let's
been amazing.
Mhm.
Came in very highly ranked, overall. Arguably one of the best in the scene.
Mhm.
And
I was just looking for when that would have happened. Been okay, good. 'Cause I don't even. It looks like Bloom Gaming. They haven't been streamed all playoffs because their upset wasn't streamed. I think.
Correct.
think
We
the
were in
last time
the
that-
other side of the bracket last week.
So I think the last time she would have been streamed is
Well, that would be for ELY.
week. Is that week 1 or okay? Oh, sorry. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit backwards here.
All right.
But if
we
we're in
are
draft,
getting
then let's
into
just talk
draft.
about that.
Yeah. so
And I
medium
think
Zoe
the
ban.
bands are gonna agree with you. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the bands are gonna agree with you. We'll see if a lot of mid lanes are banned. It looks like a moo for Eli so far, but in a way that's kind of like weakening your mid laner, or their mid laner, because the moo could go mid pretty easily and combos with a lot of mid laners, if not the AD carry. So, I am curious if more mages are gonna be taken out though, for sure.
I would definitely assume so. At least 2 bans to Watercat would seem fair.
Mm-hmm.
The,
It just seems fair, like it should be allowed whenever you have to play against Watercat.
Yeah, you gotta pay the respect tax.
Well, right now it's Cibergon, and I'm imagining she's not taking that one mid, or at least she hasn't on anything I've seen. So
No, that was in Warden. That was Anthony, who ran the Heartsteel Sivir mid banger
well,
of a game and
I
did win
don't
on it.
think Watercat's gonna do that, but I guess she can't now.
Hey, you never know. Could have saw that game and been just like, that's some tech I want to play.
Absolutely. So looking at it, I was looking at whenever the last time Watercat was casted. It wasn't for playoffs. That was also true for her. And let me see the other bands. Braum.
and
So it
it's
is
a
only one
Braum.
Zoe band for her.
And we go ahead and take out the Gnar targeting instrument. I like it. So, B1, couple things up. Gwen's been the high priority B1 that we have basically seen. They're going to opt for the Jinx most played champion in LXC across all leagues.
And I'm wondering if they're going to give Watercat counterpick here for Eli, so if that's why they wanted to pick red side. Because they didn't put any bans towards mid lane, but if you're forcing the enemy mid laner to blind pick, that's, totally acceptable. Maybe you could throw out one at like an Orianna or something that's pretty safe, but there's no reason to ban now if you're just looking for counterpick. So I imagine that they're just going to match bot lane and one of the support-ish roles, probably their support, because Caitlyn's locked in, and I feel like Caitlyn kind of already gives away what your support is going to be like.
Yeah, we're going to play a little bit of cops and robbers here for this game. Always love to see the mini game. Get some of the special effects there.
I'm kind of interested to see if they do just pick their support. They're going to pick their jungler, which is another classic bot lane plus jungle pick early. It is pretty good in the Jinx, so I like what they've cooked so far, but can Bloom Gaming pick up something to kind of mitigate the pressure that Elysium's looking to put on early?
Yeah, have been seeing a trend recently here in playoffs, at least in the LXC, where the support pick is actually being held to that 4th, sometimes 5th round for that deep counter there to round out those team caps. Normally there's a flex or 2 in there, so we'll have to see how this plays out. The Jax. Could be flexed.
That would
Jungler,
definitely
top
be
still.
safe support, because we're picking top lane now. I do like it into the Zen. It could be jungle, obviously, as you said. But picking something like Jackson to Caitlyn's kind of interesting, and Zen as well. You are definitely trying to outscale, but now you've picked kind of two characters that are trying to do that, and if it's top lane, it's on like opposite sides of the rift. So I'm wondering what Bloom Gaming, if they're taking a jungle, how they're going to mitigate the fact that there's this Caitlyn pressure lane, or if they're taking a top lane, what they're going to bring to the mid lane. As I think you were right, it is Flex because that is likely a jungle Jax.
Yeah, I assume that's going to be top. They're going to match, and this has to be all mid lane bans. One would
Yeah.
assume.
I think Elysium's just going to be the safest mid laners and safe counterpick because I feel like their support is already kind of clear of just something that brings pressure. It looks like they want to take away things that mitigate that pressure, though. Lulu being the first one, and I respect that too.
Yeah, definitely get
if
the Lulu away from the Jinx. Yeah, Lulu
Mhm.
with Jax as well as a Cassante is a lot of trouble. So I really like the Lulu ban here.
And it does just open you up to having a really strong bot lane matchup, even if you don't save counterpick for support.
Now, as a
So I
former
imagine Bloom
ADC, I went
Gaming.
back and forth whether I liked Caitlyn with a poke support or the all-in, type of engage. The more
Hmm.
Caitlyn's always kind of been the staple, but something with a Leona or a Nautilus, something with a lot of lockdown, delay the traps, that type of setup has always been also extremely good.
I think you'd go for the poke. Renata's banned here, so they might be going with your other plan of engage. But with the Jax jungle showing, I feel like you get to play pretty aggressively with poke in the first place. And that's why Seraphine and Karma are also banned. But if you're banning Renata and taking Victor,
And
interesting. So they're the ones blind mid.
yeah, Watercat's confident on the Victor.
So Bloom Gaming really want to take a strong laner here, I assume. I mean, I know Jax jungle has gotten a little bit better, but I do feel like it really wants to be able to answer. It can't have three losing lanes, right? I mean, I guess Kesante's not losing necessarily. I was thinking of the Jax top lane, but still, I feel like a strong mid here would go a long way for Bloom. And Hui kind of fits that. It's not necessarily going to win into Victor because I feel like a lot of things don't win into Victor, or there's not much that wins into Victor. But Hui's going to do fine, and is not certain and not going for that like we have to scale on bot and mid.
Yeah, Wei can keep Wei
There
a
could
bit
be
better,
support technically,
but I'm a little
but
scared about objective control. Victor does a
mm-hmm,
very good job of keeping people out of objectives,
mm-hmm.
as does Caitlyn. So I think Baron pits, Dragon pits are extremely difficult right now.
Okay, so we did go with the Nautilus pick, which helps that lane a little bit, bot lane. But if Elysium is comfortable going to double poke, I feel like their team comp just makes sense. Maybe Zenzao doesn't necessarily like that with the bot lane, but I mean, he's going to be fine ganking
The
mid and top lane
Nami could
anyways.
still come out here. I
Yeah,
think the
for
Nami
sure.
would
I think
actually be decent.
I'm
There's five
wondering if that
support
would.
bans. The Thresh.
Interesting. Thresh. That feels like a late game pick rather than a lane pick. I could be wrong. It is nice in the Nautilus in a lot of ways, but it's
Yeah,
interesting.
Thresh does actually a lot of things very well here with that Flay. Can be pretty tanky. Get a bit of a pick with this comp. Pairs very well with Caitlyn as well for the trap synergy.
But I do think I want to say that if Elysium is able to pull out this game, they've really set up a really nice thing for their red side where Bloom Gaming really have to come up with a new blind pick. Because I feel like they've brought up effective counter picks for that red side. And I don't think Bloom Gaming really was able to effectively use the advantage the blue side has, which is to get, overpowered picks and force bans out of red side that they don't necessarily want to do. Not that necessarily there's a lot of overlap between these teams where blue side really gets a lot of power, but if Elysium can shut down this Jinx, then I feel like Bloom Gaming is going to have a lot harder time on blue side for the rest of this match.
Yeah, Bloom's saying, hey, we're going to put this game in the hands of Warren, and Warren's going to go ahead and take this on the Jinx and carry this out. You do have that late scale help that becomes the unkillable Cassante there with Instrument on that, and Banana Man for the Hui. So there's definitely a lot of potential, but more pick, not necessarily a full 5v5 that you're trying to go.
Also, I did look it up for my own curiosity. The last time that Watercat was on stream was a full month ago on week 3. And Elysium versus Pandora Panda Fighters, and Elysium did win that, but it might be a lot of people's first introduction to this team if they're only watching the stream games. And I'm excited to see how they do, especially whenever it's playoffs instead of just week 3.
Yeah, everything's on the line now. It is a best of 5. It's win or go home, and more at stake. It's semis, so win and you're going to the championship round.
Well, we will have to see who does win and goes to the championship round, or at least starts the series off with a 1-0. And we will do that after a quick break, and then we'll be into game 1.
Mirrors on the wall, staring back at me. Stranger in the hall, frozen by the scene. Portraits seem to fade. He lost his centerpiece. Can't recall his face. I hope he'll rest in peace. Haunted by my mind, victim or the prey. Everything is fine. Take me to my grave. Bury me alive, keeping me astray. Hard to say goodbye to who I am today. Everything is fine. Take me to my grave. Haunted by my mind, victim or the prey. Everything is fine. Take me to my grave. Bury me alive, keeping me astray. Hard to say goodbye to who I am today. Haunted by my mind, victim or the prey. Everything is fine. Take me to my grave. Bury me alive, keeping me astray. Hard to say
All right, everyone, welcome to game 1 of Bloom Lotus versus Elysium. You just told me this, and for some reason, I'm messing up the pronunciation, but it looks like we're getting a 5 points, so we have time to talk about it.
Choco Pancakes.
Oh my gosh. So,
I stole
the
it
Hook
from
champions.
Crewman. I stole it from Crewman, I gotta be honest.
The Hook champions are not grouping up with their teams. They're being respectful. Game 1, you know, no cheese. We save that for game 5 whenever everyone's really, you know, not thinking about it too much or tired or just like really stressed out. But game 1, Nautilus is just hanging out in this bush, and so is Thresh. So, I mean, someone could face check here. Victor's looking a little close, but nah, he's not going for the greedy Raptor ward.
Yeah, kind of sad. I always like to see a Nautilus invade, but as we talked about in the break, I'm like, oh, Nautilus, yeah, let's see an invade. And then, you know, they pick the Thresh, and I'm like, I don't want to see the invade anymore.
What is interesting is the summoner spells. We got Barrier Exhaust versus Cleanse Ignite. I do like Cleanse in a lot of lanes. I'm not sure if I would have taken it this one. Obviously, Thresh, if you cleanse the hook, it's very good. But that's about it, really, I guess. There's some other stuff later with the Victor, maybe. But Ignite versus Exhaust is also interesting. I'm a huge proponent of Exhaust, to be honest, just because I've been on the receiving end of it. It feels really bad. But a lot of my AD carries, whenever I play support, are just like, take Ignite, bro, we can kill him.
That sounds exactly like the solo queue experience we all know and love.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, these trades are crazy.
Safe? Yeah, Banana Man and Watercat immediately getting right at each other.
Speaking of crazy trades, I think there might be a crazy one bot lane if this level 2... not really. Kaylin always gets level 2 first, and then Nautilus can't do anything. But Watercat using level 2 advantage pretty well for herself, getting the E damage off. And that means mid prio is going to go to the side of Victor, which is pretty important in these mage versus mage matchups.
Yeah, good push in. Jungles are both passing bot, so we may see something here around the 3.5-minute mark.
I don't know, if I'm jungle and I'm clearing my camps and I see these mid laners, I'm thinking about them a lot. I'm maybe less so Jax, because I feel like if he wastes time on a gank just getting a flash, he's not very happy. But Zen Zhao sees Banana Man that low and says, I will sacrifice everything, I will die to kill this man, it's fine with me. Yeah. And it might be possible.
Yeah, it's a little rough for Banana Man right now, and already out of the pots. Victor still has left it, just Watercat being abusive to this way.
Yeah, you know, it's fair. You started that correctly, though. It's Watercat and it's also this Victor champion. As there is a hook bot lane, I don't think there's going to be a counter hook because they're down a level. Xin Zhao has not come mid. He's just like, Watercat, you got this. I'm going to go clear my camps because if I come mid, you might have killed them by the time I come, I guess, or something. Looks like Banana Man's actually going to respect it and recall. And that's a huge advantage for Watercat already, and we're just 3.5 minutes in.
Yeah, nice gentlemanly play there from Dudley. It's just like, oh, Banana, you're already having a little bit rough. Let's not make your game more miserable for you. But
yeah, that was probably it.
Yeah.
But top lane's kind of interesting. You see Unstoppable in a nice trade. Mordekaiser doesn't mind being in these minions though because of that huge shield and spell vamp. The shield, oh, there's the cleanse. I guess it is good. Hook also whenever Jax is here. Has to flash out from Jax, flash in from Jax. Play is good. Bone playing also helping a lot, but he still has to walk quite a ways away. Meanwhile, Xin Zhao is not making it easy for Banana Man. Coming in after the teleport, getting the knockup, doesn't care about the flash, and Daddy just gets Daddy just gets first blood. Oh dear. No, don't overshadow that play with my mispronunciation, because Daddy did get first blood in a way that completely destroys Banana Man. And this laning phase already was pretty rough for him. He didn't teleport, by the way. He just walked back, but now he has to teleport back. And you can see it on the recalls, where there's a full Dark Seal and boots ahead for Watercat.
Yeah, no, I liked it. Daddy coming in really strong right there. It's not now the only thing I can call him. Sorry, it got way worse in my head, and I had to like reword half of that. I was just like,
we're gonna have to like issue a public apology to Daddy Brains after this, because I think this might be. I'm hoping it's not, but you know. If it does stick, that'd be really sad, because I don't think that's what he was thinking whenever he made the name.
But it was an excellent gank, good wraparound.
For sure. I mean, why not just full clear your camps, get Crab, and then also get the gank off? You know, in a way, Banana Man being so safe worked against him, because he went for the recall. And yeah, he didn't die then, but there's no way for him to be able to offset how Watercat can control the wave, as you can see her doing it here as well. And then whenever Victor and Zenzao can control the wave completely, it doesn't matter if you have a book ahead. I don't even know if you got to get the book off the first recall. You're just going to die to Zenzao every time.
Yeah, something I gotta point out though, even with that death, the CS lead is basically even. Yeah, it's got a couple minion lead, that's because Victor has
I think Ultimate's gonna come out here, by the way. The Mordekaiser ult and the Cassante ult come out. Flash out of the solo Q. Double shield, however, is pretty good for Mordekaiser, so he can walk away. As mid lane, Banana Man's not even level 6, so even though he's equal in CS, just the item difference and the level difference is already making it hard for him, and his mana bar is also essentially empty right now. I mean, I guess he's Sway. He can get it back a little bit.
Yeah, little painful, but props to Banana holding the CS. Yeah, the only real CS advantage right now is in jungle with Zin, who did get that gank.
Mordekaiser has flash here, so he doesn't even have to use it, so he'll be fine. Sorry about that. That was my desk. Either way, top lane is getting kind of spicy. And that means that Zinzao has a plethora of places to go, because I'm sure the Hui could get bullied some more. Bot lane is a Nautilus Jinx, so you always know they're open to ganking. And top lane looks very bloody as well, as Thresh. I mean, you could never engage on this Thresh whenever he walks up like that, because he is just like one lantern away from ruining your whole career. And yeah, Zinzao's on the dragon, but do Nautilus and Jinx know that?
Yeah, and this is... Bot lane isn't backing here. We don't see them at least reacting to this dragon play. And they might end up even getting grubs out of this for Elysium. So
that is the Jax tax, in my opinion, or other junglers that are a little bit low tempo whenever you've got a mid lane that's already behind. Now, Jax can do grubs pretty quickly, so it might be okay, but he is kind of, you know, risking a lot whenever he does that, and Victor can just walk over, so... You know, you did pick a champion that scales pretty well. Gank's okay. But early game is going to be pretty rough, as this trade between ultimates and mid lane leaves Watercat in kind of an awkward position. But I think if she lives, she'll be okay.
Yeah, almost even health bars coming up between the two of them, but Watercat's out of mana, which is going to make this a little
right,
awkward.
So junglers might be more interested in grubs than mid lane, but the mid laners might not be able to help, because I feel like they're in the fight for their life right now. Yeah. And it's not like Victor's going to come over with no mana either, so...
Yeah,
I think the grubs conversation is going to continue.
Like, maybe able to get the prio and then some autos, but Victor with no mana isn't all that scary.
Yeah, you can see Watercat is just using the push in that she graced herself for just a recall, and this means Jax is... Okay, interesting. Watercat stops recall because they see the Jax on the grubs, but again, does it really matter if your mid laner canceled recall if she doesn't have mana? It looks like it does matter enough for Jax to back off, though.
Yeah, Thresh is
while we're
here.
watching this top lane fight.
Nautilus pretty
Thresh
late,
is here.
about 10 more seconds.
Hook is pretty big too. Watercat gets flashed on. She has enough mana for W and E. And that's enough to save her. So now Banana Man in a little bit of trouble, uses the CC well. Mordekaiser still has ult though, doesn't want to use it on the Nautilus yet. Meanwhile, top lane, all out Cassante will go all down. And looks like Mordekaiser used the ult on Nautilus. It does not kill in time though. Gets Banana Man in a nice Q. Oh, Thresh baits in the hook. I don't know if it was worth it, because I think he could have just gotten the hook on Posey, but it is nice to be like, don't worry, I'm hunting this guy, you're fine, and then actually get hooked. But it does let Jax walk away, so...
Wow,
a little awkward, but nice play still.
Yeah, and a 1k gold lead spikes to 2.5, and kind of disastrous here for Bloom. You go 3 for nothing. So even feats go over in that fight, and this Xin Zhao, not only with the CS lead in the jungle, he's got all the kills. He's 3-0.
It does feel awkward to be on the scaling side and still take the fight and also have your support come late. Obviously, it's hard to know exactly when you're supposed to match roam and when you're supposed to all in. And it's possible that Chaser would never have fallen for anything, but I do feel like Not Jinx has a very powerful 2v1. Fortunately, following the roam and being late is like the worst scenario, basically.
Yeah, I think the better play probably would have been to immediately try and all in that Caitlyn. Although Caitlyn is pretty slippery, but oof. That is very rough.
For sure. I'm not saying that it necessarily was 100% better to all in, but definitely needs to be fast if you're gonna follow, and unfortunately the undecisiveness just doesn't work out. And now Watercat has gotten that recall, has lost chapter, their mana problems are no more. And this mid lane problem is still going to be a massive problem, and now it's got a 3-0 Xin Zhao backing it up too.
Yeah, and it did allow, since Watercat didn't die in that, and Banana Man did, you know, the CS lead has come through now finally for Watercat.
Right, and also the level ups on Victor abilities. Let me check right now. I don't know if there is a way to check on Spectator, but oh, not if the camera takes me away. 1 second. Okay, so
You have to click the portrait.
meanwhile, I'm actually going to talk about the bot lane because Jax gets hooked in here. The flay doesn't quite hit though, and obviously they're just trying to disengage. But that's more Jax tempo, and he's already down on CS.
Yeah, really tough at this point for Jax to be ganking. He needs to kind of catch up, be clearing some camps. But this mid lane matchup is not going well. Banana Man has the TP, gonna have to burn it here. You're just too low.
If you're gonna gank over camps, it's okay. You just have to make sure they're 100% impactful, and that just wasn't impactful enough. Meanwhile, this top lane fight, ultimate traded once again. Banana Man might just be dead, and he is. Guster is coming for a gank mid. I don't think it really does much though. Does get the stun, will get stunned himself though because he doesn't walk off with the stun, and Watercat just gets to walk away. And that's a flashless Victor getting a solo kill and getting out from a gank.
Yeah, that is almost tilting if you're the Jax there. You know, you missed it by a pixel stepping forward. But little greedy from Banana Man.
Oh, speaking of greedy, that recall. It's not going to get him killed, but it does murder his tempo, even if he doesn't get murdered.
Yeah, that's definitely going to cost him CS2, and there's no TP here for Instrument. So that is the long walk of shame back.
Guster is so sad right now. He is murdering his own tempo to try to bail out Cassante's. And that means... Oh no, I think he was on the camp actually. I just saw him in Tribush and was thinking he wasn't clearing. So, it's not that bad. But still, it does feel like all of the lanes and the jungle are just on full tilt, or on full tilt power level right now for Eli.
Rightfully so. You have to go up the second Drake. Like, you cannot fight this at this point. You're almost 4k down.
Okay, we are setting up on the Victor though. Looks like Victor has a Thresh Lantern in the side though. I don't think this ever works. Water does not have flash. The stun will come out. W stun is available. There's no lantern right now. Thresh walked away, so the Hueho will be enough to kill. That's a shutdown. They'll take that 1-for-1. Thresh is finally here though. Can Banana Man get out of this hook? Will flash. The hook goes on the Nautilus though, and it makes it into a flash out for Nautilus. So they will just get a 1-for-1, which is good enough, but it sure was close.
Yeah, Cloudberry doing some really good work there. Nice hooks in and out. That I do like to see from some Nautilus play. So really good job from Cloud there.
Yeah, they get the shutdown and they also get 3 grubs. Now, that's the only objective they've gotten, but it is a start. Or wait, no, sorry.
That is going over
what am I talking about?
to the Choco Pancakes.
I saw Dest and I was like, oh, clearly the team on the grubs is the one that I was talking about, and I just didn't update my mind. So, no objectives over yet. But it's still starting to get that shut down. And sometimes you just need to get, you know, the 4th dragon, make sure they don't get soul, and then you can really get back into the game from there. So, there's still time for sure for Bloom.
Sofa with a good heads-up play there, going ahead and starting those grubs immediately. Had the full prio. So, Xin just had to walk up after the successful 1-for-1.
Right, and right now the name of the game for Bloom is cross maps because, I mean, there's not an objective that they can cross map per se, but you need to be away from this 4-0 Xin Zhao, and you need to make sure your ganks don't get run into by a lantern, or run out of by a lantern rather. Meanwhile, Duddy is going top lane, and this is the 4-0 Xin Zhao we're talking about. Will jump in, however, Cassante has plenty of tools, so gank mitigated for now.
Yes.
Oh, Watercat face checks into this, but there's just no follow-up because Sway is on the other side trying to hover the topside gank, so.
Yeah, looked a little awkward there for Guster. It's pretty far behind.
What? I can't believe that hook didn't miss. Of all the Nautilus hooks, because they always hit. They've got like magnetic arms. But that one went in between 2 people, so there we go.
Hey, sometimes the field goals are good.
Right, I don't know if that hook would have been a great hook to go for. in this top lane fight, we've got a finish Leandries for Mordekaiser versus just some MR for Cassante. So that looks really rough.
Yeah, Banana trying to bait there towards Jax. Do like to see it, but it's now a 3-1, but it's known Zen did see them.
Okay, so Watercat walking away, has flash. The CC also misses from Banana Man. That's the only consistent CC they could possibly get here, unless Guster flashes, and they will get Watercat's flash. But right now, a cross-map play of just getting Watercat's flash isn't enough. They need to do the follow-up of taking away that shield and then getting the kill as well.
Yeah, you get the flash for flash here. I would have liked to have seen them transition that right into Rift Herald. You know, get
Meanwhile,
something
Zen's out.
for this.
You like that dodge from Banana Man. Just a really nice step away that I think would have killed him if he didn't do it. So doing well under pressure in that instance.
You know, once again, Banana Man is just having a very rough time. Has done pretty well catching back up in CS though. Only down 16,
And, you know,
was down over like almost 26 or so.
Right, and as long as you stay somewhat even in CS and levels, you can get back into the game as mage versus mage. It's not necessarily one of those matchups where the lane can kind of spill out to other lanes as easily as, say, a top laner that can just be side lane forever, or an AD carry that will snowball and win the game.
Yeah, even though Watercat is kind of bullying Banana Man here, Banana Man's managing to, you know, grit his teeth and kind of bear this here for a bit, and make it still pretty close.
Now, this dragon is only 1 minute away. Giving up the third dragon in the Mountain Soul map would be pretty rough, but I'm not sure I see the alternatives right now, unless they can get a pick. The picks are possible on Watercat, because that flash is down. I don't think you ever kill Chaser with Thresh available and Barrier and Flash. So I think all eyes are going to be on Bloom looking for Watercat. Meanwhile, top lane getting ulted under tower for Mordekaiser. And that fight looks pretty good, actually. You know, Leandries does a lot of work, but... Oh, meanwhile, bot lane, Thresh going for a dive. Will have to flash out and still gets hit by many towers. That will be a kill. The tower does go down afterwards, but Jinx is excited right now. Top lane, Cassante and Mordekaiser going really hard. That health bar is way too low. Mid lane, obviously Watercat is going to win this. We've been talking about that bully matchup. Watercat will get that solo kill. So, I don't know. It's interesting because Thresh is down, but with Banana Man down with no teleport, I'm not sure that they can still contest this dragon. They are going to contest Vision for now, though.
Yeah, I think actually
Oh,
they're
they're
still
actually
in a
starting
stronger
it.
position here for this dragon.
Right, there's no Thresh. There's not an easy way to get Vision. It's not an easy way to check into this, especially without Victor having Flash or Ultimate. But if Victor can get placed some nice ease, actually Zin's out with a little deep, gets shut down. Guster will go down as well. Both junglers dead. I just don't think Jinx can really get in there with Victor available and her at half health. But the dragon will be stopped for now. Nice little think there.
Yeah, good job for Cloud to walk back and soak that. But yeah, Watercat damage done, goes down, or sacrifices the Zin there, but does end up getting the trade there for Guster. So it stops it for now.
Oh, Mordekaiser's here. I don't think people were expecting that on Bloom. I don't know if it matters though, because there's no CC coming out. So Banana Man doesn't care if he's 1v2. He will still clear the wave just okay.
Yeah, Hui finally does have the Black Torch, looking like he's building into that Leandris next. You know, that wave clear is going to become impossible to bury Hui, as he'll just insta-clear the
And it has to be said, stalling Mountain Dragon for this long is already kind of a win for Bloom. You know, obviously you don't want to be giving up third dragon, but if at least you can give it up where it's like 2 minutes later than normal, so that we have more time to worry about it for Soul to get items, that's already pretty good for their spot in scaling. Meanwhile, Nautilus a little bit caught here, gets hooked as well. That is a lot of CC used, the whale trying to find anything. But Cloud Breed will go down, and I think that is going to be the signal for this third dragon to finally fall.
Yeah, really good idea from Cloud there to step up, try and get the 3v1 that it looked like was going to be, but just didn't know there was an additional guy there. So it ended up being a 4v3, and everybody immediately backed out, and Cloud, unfortunately, it's a Nautilus. Once Nautilus in, Nuts just kind of there.
I was so ready for that to steal. Obviously, it's, you know, pretty easy to just smite correctly, but sometimes, you know, it looks pretty close.
Yeah, if you're the Jinx there, Warren, good heads up. You gotta go for it.
For sure, it's a pretty low cooldown. And I think the Hui damage also looked close, but smite does a little bit more than just a little QE.
You know that 800 true damage coming out. It's okay.
It's quite a bit. So Otacon is spawned top lane, which is kind of interesting because I feel like these top laners are going to stay assigned top lane for quite some time. And they've been just going at it, but their going at it is a little bit more impactful whenever supports and junglers are more empowered to go top lane with this Otacon being right here.
And again, I would have liked to have seen Bloom trade that objective. Okay, they go to Soul Point. Fine. Take the Rift Herald and you can at least crack mid open. You have mid down the half. That was an option.
Oh, Duddy is going to face check here, but there's a thresh, so Guster does not want to go for it for sure. Watercat finds Banana Man again. Flash out. He misses the CC though, so that's a lot of trouble. Meanwhile, top laners are going at it, and there's a bunch of people on Eli coming straight up here. Jax is also here. Doesn't know that those other people are here. Mordekaiser ult used, and he's gonna get some pretty bad news on the side of Cassante whenever he comes out of that, because here's Caitlyn. Meanwhile, they can kind of dive Guster here too. He's got Counter-Strike for now, but he gets hooked, has to flash, gets exhausted, and Chaser is doing the chasing. And we'll get that kill too, and surely that's the Otacon.
Yeah, Otacon's gonna have to go over here. And what two really strong hooks from It's Just Haya. Just really nice thresh plays. Gets that double hook and had a beautiful flay with Guster trying to jump away just to cancel that out. Ends up leading to the kill.
Oh, that's a nice hook as well. Banana Man, not knowing he's on a word, will also get dove. I feel like he's the second or third member to get dove up here. Last 30 seconds. And that signals that objective bounties are going to be available.
Yeah, we both kind of question this this thresh pick, but it is one of It's Just Haya's main champions. Definitely looking by the mastery.
And it's showing.
Yes, piloting it extremely well. This thresh is 100% a problem. Didn't do a whole ton in
can
lane.
just go in here. No, but that's fine. Caitlyn did more than enough for both members, you know?
Right? But definitely he's playing it extremely well here in these team fights.
So now with Otacon down, with Rift Herald down, with 3 dragons down, you've basically got to make it all in play for this Mountain Dragon. You can't cross map anymore. You can't really give up soul. And you can't really scale. So there's going to have to be a time where you look at the timer and say, it is X minutes before dragon, maybe 1 minute, maybe 30 seconds. We're going to try to find a pick, and then we're going to try to get dragon 5v4. But that's going to be really difficult to do with Thresh available and all flashes available for Asylum. Elysium, sorry.
Yeah, giving up Mountain Point is really tough. But I don't exactly know how you fight it being
And the
this far
pick's
down.
going the wrong way, as I think Duddy is going to get the knockup. Not quite, okay, so. That's fine. Banana Man will live to see another day. But again, it is Bloom that is... The onus is on them to find a pick here.
Yeah, they're going to have to find something or just give this dragon over here in a minute. So,
Or just
kind of tough.
pray that they can get a miracle 5v5, which sounds kind of impossible.
Well, it's that or you have to make the call, okay, we'll give this up, we'll fight at Elder.
That's a fun call to make. I love whenever I have to make that call.
That is a
in League
brutal,
of
brutal
Legends.
decision, but sometimes that's your best option. If you're in that situation, things have not gone according to plan.
And it looks like it's actually Elysium that is setting up here, getting the hook as well with the Zen. Cloudy is just caught, and there's no way to get any counter damage. All of these health bars are full, so much so that Haya is flashing in, getting the flash of Ren, and now they absolutely have to give this dragon. If a 5v5 was a miracle, winning a 4v5 would just be, I mean, at that point you're asking if someone got paid off. And a hook comes in as the tower falls as well. Haya doesn't want to go for it though. Understandable. Why risk a sure thing? push them off, get the tower, and then go get Soul.
Yeah, very well played. Set up the vision. You have the Thresh hook over the wall. Kind of classic Thresh plays there. Well executed, and they're very well rewarded for it.
And Banana Man is also executed by Haya. Love that he gets the hook and the kill with it. Well deserved. At this point, you're not really worried about Thresh getting a kill or two. Just give the gold around to everyone.
Yeah, supports need gold too. I approve.
Yeah,
of this.
exactly. How else are they gonna afford so many control words?
Has played well enough to earn quite a few kills.
Yeah,
I would say.
exactly. So you can see Zen is just kind of on the Baron, and 10-man Barons are kind of scary, especially whenever your mid laner's just hitting bot tower. But at this point, go for it. No one is face shaking into you. Even if they do, Haya will absolutely stop them and/or kill them, and you will take down this Baron very easily.
Yeah, Baron's got to go over uncontested. I think at this point you're probably thinking about, game 2. What do you want to do?
What do we need
Your
to change in draft?
plan. This is pretty
And
tough to come back from.
And if I am Bloom, I'm thinking, let's go red side. I don't want to blind one or blue one Jinx, and who knows if they have another one, but it definitely is a Jinx.
Yeah, red power buff is a thing. Used to be blue, now it's red that we're seeing the split so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's you're almost 10k down, lost soul, elders in 4.5.
I mean, the question is your Nexus even going to survive till Elder spawns? Like, we're not even talking about contesting Elder. We're talking about how can we get through the next 3 minutes whenever they've got Mountain Soul, Baron, and a Caitlyn.
It is a
Caitlyn
very
3 items, by the way.
Siege comp.
Yeah. She can't crit towers, at least, I'm pretty sure. But she can crit you, and she's at, what, 70 or 80% crit, I think? It is currently... Wow, I don't know why I thought I could see that from the screen. Here we go. Meanwhile, she's just hitting tower. She's got 90% crit chance. So, basically critting every time. She doesn't crit, that's whenever she gets to complain, because it's much more likely than not. And those crits hurt for sure.
Yeah, especially if they are headshots. And just throwing the ult there.
Might as well.
Banana Man, if has enough rough time.
Instrument also in this 1v1. I do like how this 1v1 dynamic has not changed. It will change a little bit though as Duddy is here after the ultimate, because they get to just kind of trap you in Mordekaiser ult. Sure, the 1v1 hasn't changed necessarily, but with Elysium having full control of the map, they do get to just walk over to wherever Mordekaiser has someone trapped and wait till they come out.
Yeah, the top lane island has kind of been a thing, outside of the cavalry showing up once the Mordor comes down.
And they get to siege 2 lanes at once. Caitlyn gets to literally walk through your base to go kill the second inhibitor. And, they're only waiting on a wave for the third. They do get this Mordekaiser pick, which is a shutdown, but I think they're going to lose their entire base for it as Cloud will go down. These minion waves will not last long into these Baron minions, plus a Caitlyn and a Victor, mind you. And these Nexus towers are not much longer for the world. So I believe that will be...
Like it will be game 1. Going over
Yep,
to
Elysium taking game 1, showing why they chose red side. It was for this Thresh counter pick, plus getting some information before they pick mid, and they will start the series 1-0 for it.
Yeah, really strong game here coming out from Watercat, but more so Duddy. What a game, 8-1-3 on the Xin Zhao.
And, I do think that this Jax needs to be looked at again, because we didn't, unfortunately for Bloom, choose it as a flex. We broke the flex almost immediately, and it just wasn't able to be impactful in a place where we decided to take it because we saw the Caitlyn Xin Zhao.
Yeah, the Jax, definitely the questionable pick there. Didn't really work out. Didn't get the ganks off where it really wanted to. Couldn't apply the pressure. But at the same time, really had 3 losing lanes that struggled and needed Jax there at all times.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can really fix the mid lane matchup and make it easier to not be losing, because I feel like once Watercat picks something like Victor, you kind of have to accept that lane's not going to be winning, even if, you might not lose priority, but you're not going to have a Wayne that has a lot of pressure. And once you B1 Jinx, that obviously isn't going to happen either. So I really do think that we're going to see them switch to red side here.
Yeah, I would imagine that comes through.
So
Does
we
look
will
like
have
we're
to.
gonna get that 5 minute break here from the teams.
Yeah, and that's respectable. Let's talk about draft because things need to change. So we will be back after a quick break, and then we'll be back for draft for game 2.
I never see the lights out. They get me overdrive. Fancy on a fast car. This is how you make me feel. Don't stress me now. I got the overdose. I'm feeling it in my bones. And if you say that I'm lying to you, these habits are killing me. I wish I could fall asleep. The problem is you. I got the overdose. Oh, you are my overdose. Oh, hey, baby, I'm calling for you tonight. Come on, baby, I'm falling for you tonight. I'm not safe here, I just wanna feel alright without you. Don't stress me now. I got the overdose. I'm feeling it in my bones. And if you say that I'm lying to you, these habits are killing me. I wish I could fall asleep. The problem is you. Oh, I got the overdose. Oh, you are my overdose. You are my overdose.
All right, everyone, welcome back to game 2. Bloom Gaming did choose red side, so we've already got some bans out, and I think some picks are going to be some different. I messed up that sentence a little bit, but that's okay. Looks like the bans are the same so far.
Would imagine the Zen gets banned.
Yeah, I felt like Elysium was able to pick the Zenzao basically, really early, right? And Bloom did not have an effective answer to it. And they can't really go in the direction of Jax, I think, again. So
Yeah,
there
and
might be another angle, but Jax definitely isn't it.
I think the Victor is also a problem. Granted, Watercat has a pretty large champion pool, but if there's not an answer for that Victor, and you did see it, oh,
So looks like Draft Law is having issues, so we're gonna have a fun time of figuring that one out. Oh, did it start working?
oops, seems to be back.
Okay, so the players are trying to figure out if the Braum ban is actually legit. And I believe it is, because that's what they banned last time. But, they're going to discuss, like, hey, did everything work out for you? And I think we're just straight up into the draft. I don't think... Okay, we'll keep you updated. But, the blue side now can't pick a ban. So, we might have a bit of an iffy
We'll go ahead and
moment.
make that.
Okay, now, it probably doesn't matter because there's only 4 bans showing, but so the players probably are held to these bans, but I don't think anyone's gonna sweat it if they're like, oh, that one was a misclick or something changes, because obviously we literally bugged in the draft and 3 bans in, so it's not like they're locked to any picks or anything. So as we get those,
is going crazy.
Okay,
oh,
well,
wait, there we go. I think we're back.
So we just need to make sure the players don't do any more draft, because I think we are making. So if you see anything here, it's not anything they're beholden to, I think, at this point. So we will be moving over. And very exciting to see, different stuff. So once again, I do think we are going to see new picks, and I'm interested in what Elysium does blind pick. I do like that idea of blind picking Zen, as you said. However, I wonder if the Zenzao was more of an answer to the Jinx, and might not be as easy to pick if you're not sure the bot lane is going to be such a lane that where you can pick Caitlyn and have pressure there for the rest of the Okay, so it looks like we might have more delays. So I guess we have more time to talk about draft.
But yeah, you were talking about the Zenzao, and because they saw the Jinx, and I do agree, that's kind of what you want to go for. So since they're over on blue side now, we'll get to see what they want to prio for that first pick.
Absolutely, because it might not be as easy to take us in whenever then they could pick Caitlyn, and then suddenly the matchup is turned on its head.
Though I think the bot lane actually went quite fine. And top lane
for sure
went mostly okay as well.
Yes. So I think the big thing to really talk about is that mid lane, because we were talking about how the Zenzao really did perform, and it was 3-0. But the leading part that made the Zenzao so effective was not only did he have a really nice gank on mid lane, but he also had full impunity to go for the bot lane crab because Victor was always going to be available. So it is, something to be said for the first 3.5 minutes. Watercat absolutely was the reason why Zenzao got ahead. Now, obviously, credit definitely goes to Duddy for taking that lead and absolutely closing it out massively. But,
really good
whenever you're looking at bans, you have to look at both sides of that part of the snowball.
Yeah, and just to shout out Duddy, it was a really good job. He got that lead, and then what you don't normally see in the solo queue games that we all want is your jungler to take that lead and spread it to the other lanes, which he did very, very effectively.
Right, because Watercat, mage versus mage, definitely kept Banana Man down. Wasn't able to bring it to other lanes as much as, bring fights and make objectives easier. But with that first blood, Duddy absolutely made bot lane and top lane much easier.
Yeah, completely agree. And that's when we started seeing kills come through for the bot lane as well as the top lane. I think that was Casante's first death was coming out of the Mord ult and being a little bit of love there from
My
Duddy.
favorite thing to come out of the Mortals, and then there's 3 people on top of me. Isn't this supposed to be the 1v1 ultimate? Why? This is not fair.
Right, that is everyone's dream.
So we are just waiting for one player who had a small PC error.
Yeah, let's
During
go
that whole
ahead
thing.
and kick this back to a quick intermission while the players sort that out.
Woohoo! More breaks.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I was like so ready to go to break. Like, all right, let me just
Yeah.
do this thing real quick. But no. Okay, so we're getting same bans as we saw in the last draft. So this will be the first new information, and it may just be the same information. No, actually, they don't want the Jinx to be blind picked first. And Elysium are going to do something really nice. They read the patch notes. Ivern looks really strong on this patch. Who knows if it actually will equate to strong in a coordinated game, but Riot definitely buffed that champion.
Yeah, everybody's favorite tree should be seeing a lot more action. Always nice to see a pacifist in the jungle.
But this is a very different jungler than Xin Zhao, as we actually see Bloom take the Xin Zhao this time. So it really is going to be an inverse of the last game. Which means they might be empowered to take a bot lane that's kind of similar. They're going to take Seraphine for now, who obviously is a very flexible champion between multiple roles.
Was banned last game, as was that Sivir.
So Sivir being shown here. I do like the Sivir into Seraphine, whatever role she is bot lane. Can definitely do a lot of work. And I believe that we're going to see support pick here as well. I know we've been saving support picks, but I think Elysium can afford to save their solo lanes. Although maybe they want to get under some bans as well.
Yeah, I believe the supports were R5 last time. That Thresh gonna come back out.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I'm not sure what Bloom is going to take to answer this. It's a little hard to answer the CC that Elysium have right now. You do have something cooking with the Seraphine, but with the Xin Zhao, it's kind of awkward where you want your AD carry to be if you have an AD carry, or what support's going to work well with Seraphine in lane, but also do team fights well with Xin Zhao. That one kind of does what you need. Making the Jhin means that you are able to affect where Xin Zhao is in a fight without being next to him like a Kaisa would have to be. While still avoiding a lot of the CC of Ivern and Thresh, hopefully.
Yeah, it does bring it there. It does instantly put a damage issue.
Sure.
Jin, not that traditional ADC. 4 shots. Granted that
Mm-hmm.
that fourth one hurts, but it is 4 shots, so it does slow down your objective taking.
And you can see the Malphite ban might be for lane, but also might be just so that where you don't have a situation where Jhin is sitting around hitting a Malphite and it just completely brushes off.
Yeah, that always
And
feels
that is
really
another
bad.
super tank off.
Locking that Jin, and then the other team just locks, 5 tanks. You just hate life.
So will Bloom for the first time blind pick mid lane here? If the Seraphine isn't flex mid. I don't think it would be, but you never know.
Yeah, I don't think they
Or-
can blind mid here. I think at this point, with how that game went, you have to give Banana counter pick.
So if you're going blind pick top lane, and you're worried about, because you have to worry about the Mordekaiser. I feel like a lot of top lane picks you would take your blind do poorly into that Mordekaiser, and we didn't ban it. Well, I think that's Seraphine mid essentially showing.
They were,
but that
is a
kind of
flex.
undoes your blind pick, because now you know Seraphine is going mid. And I feel like Elysium could just take Victor again.
Yeah, the Victor is open. Now, the matchup goes a little bit more different. Seraphine can play much farther back than Hui can. So it does also have a lot of shielding in her kit. A little more annoying. but Victor is not going to be under any kill pressure.
And I am putting aside the other potential flexes because I don't want to think about Alistair going anywhere but support.
Alistair
But
jungle?
obviously,
Hey, Alistair mid would be fire right now. Bring
but I feel
Alistair
like
mid back.
Watercat could just lock in Cassidon. Wait a second. Interesting.
Wow, Watercat throwing the gauntlet down, saying, "Nice Seraphine. Don't run it mid."
But the Seraphine is kind of locked into mid here. Alistair's not going anywhere but support. Jen's not going top lane. So, I mean, you're kind of locked into this matchup, but I don't know, because it's interesting with the Cassidon and the Ivern. Ivern does like to invade. It's not really possible with the Cassidon showing. We are going to get a scale off with the Kale locked in for top lane. And I do feel like Kale might be okay into set for some time. But Zenzo does have a lot of options for CC of ganking lanes. And this Cassidon will not be able to support the Ivern in a lot of different areas. So I'm wondering if Elysium has bit off a little bit more than they can chew.
Yeah, spicy draft. A Kale comes out. You want that level 16 Cassidon. You also want
for
that
sure.
level 16 Kale.
They definitely do like dinging 16.
And
And with the Otacon almost always being ruinous, they do get there much quicker than they used to.
So now it's a game of who hits 16 first. Is it Cassidon versus Kale and everybody else is just minions?
But I'm also curious what this Ivern can do, because he's got the CC, but does he have the damage with any of his lanes to gank well? Maybe bot lane. I don't think he ever ganks Seraphine mid until level 7 or 8. And he's not invading Xin Zhao effectively. Like, Xin, first of all, doesn't really care if you invade him, and second of all, will jump on you with Seraphine backup if you're not careful. So I do think that, the first and fifth pick for Elysium is kind of at odds with each other almost, but maybe it'll play out differently than I think of in my mind.
Well, Zen works very well early game, can get you there. If you're just looking to buy some time for that Kale to come online, but it's tough. You're kind of outscaled by the Sivir Cassidon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder if the kill pick was also kind of a mistake in a lot of ways. It is nice into specifically a set, but are you really looking into this game with your Xin Zhao Jin comp and being like, okay guys, just wait till level 16 and we'll crush them? I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah, I think the one part is Warren's probably happy to see a Cassidon of all the mid laners that it could have been.
For sure. Watercat is not bullying out Banana this game early.
Yeah, definitely. And fourth shot against a lot of other different type of mages or assassins is far more effective on Cassidon coming out from the Jin, as long as he doesn't instantly die. But you can kind of build to protect yourself. Jin has that flexibility.
Well, I, for one, am excited to see the new buffed Ivern. I really missed him being in the meta. I don't like seeing him every game, don't get me wrong. It's a little awkward with just like support-ish jungles, but it is nice to see the opportunity for jungle to play a more supporting role. So we'll see what Ivern can do on the new patch after a quick break, and then we'll be into game 2.
There's my home, there's my world. See, it's the flower, mine is lost. Beyond space, beyond time, give me fire, clear my mind. Tale of love, so divine. You are human, just like now. I can see in the dark.
show me colors, light in the darkness. You were the only thing I needed. Then we got older, but we stayed the same. Swear that we never lost the flame. Nostalgia, you're an echo in my head. Oh, nostalgia, like a symphony of our memories. Oh, nostalgia, don't you ever slip away. Oh, nostalgia, like a symphony of our memories. Oh, like a symphony of our memories. Oh, what if the years turn into gold? The longer we live, yeah, the more we grow. We could be 100 miles apart, but it's never far. Yeah, you show me colors, light in the darkness. You were the only thing I needed. Then we got older, but we stayed the same. Swear that we never lost the flame. No, nostalgia, you're an echo in my head. Oh, nostalgia, like a symphony of our memories. Oh, nostalgia, don't you ever slip away. Oh, nostalgia, like a symphony of our memories. Oh, like a symphony of our memories. Oh, like a symphony of our memories. Oh,
Okay, everyone, welcome to a pause screen, your favorite. The player has reconnected who was disconnected when there was a pause, so it should unpause any moment, but we're in game 2 of Bloom versus Elysium, so, you know, just wait for this pause, and there it goes. Okay, we'll get a little bit of a buffer afterwards, the spectator likes to do, and then we'll get into this game for real.
Yeah, we do not see the ignites that we saw
yeah,
from
that's
game
true.
1.
Now, obviously, all the soul landers are taking teleport, and then there's barrier exhaust versus barrier exhaust. No cleanse either for Ren, which I think makes a lot of sense. There's not any other CC other than the Thresh and Ivern, and ideally, you are not getting engaged on as Jin. I feel like even cleanse will not save you in a lot of places outside of laning phase.
Yep, I agree, and this looks like to be a fairly standard 5-point with a random cow. Who is
I love random cows. Sometimes they just get kills. So, again, I'm kind of interested for Ivern pattern is Duddy does path into the random cow almost, like, really close to seeing the cow. Jump in from Zen for Gust or Cloud has to choose either the dash that knocks away or Q. Hasn't chosen anything yet. Watercat has to use E. I believe is what you take for lane anyways, is Haya.
yeah,
Says
his
Haya.
instrument is just sitting on the tower, so this is a 4v3.
Got an interesting dynamic here for sure. Ward popped out. Is Cloudberry really going for this aggressive ward? Not quite able to get it because Thresh shows up.
Free ward for Chaser, though.
Okay, so now let's look at the Ivern pattern, because a lot of junglers have not played Ivern in quite a while, and this is a bit of a unique pathing style where you have to start where you normally would for jungle, but you just go in this weird loop-de-loop. So it will be Raptor start for him. And so you'll see Ivern cover a lot more ground than Zen, but overall have about a very similar clear speed. I imagine a little bit faster. Zen's on the lower end of that clear speed at times. As Hyatt and Jacer have gotten control of this lane bot lane as well.
Yeah, looks like Watercat is going to try to trade aggressively, but...
Oh, Duddy Smite's red buff. I don't remember that clear path at all where you go with minor camp and smite the first camp. It does make your clear a lot safer if you're worried about Xin Zhao being in your jungle. Because usually you would just greet it all, not take a camp until you smite the last minor camp that he's about to come up on, I think. This water cat gets traded on pretty heavily.
Yeah, it's very different lane. This kind of looks like, you know, same sides, different nameplates.
For sure. There's a Xin Zhao on my screen. That was Duddy, right? But Duddy's on the tree, and Water Cat's getting bullied right now. Hopefully we'll not have to get ganked by Xin Zhao from behind. As you can see, Xin going aggressively for something. I'm not sure if it's Ivern camps.
Oof.
But he will not find them, I believe. Because there's no way that he's going to just blind go for these golems, right?
I mean, he might. No. Guess not. Okay.
No, he's just going to find nothing. And now there's 12 camps on his top side, or 12 CS on his top side. Water Cat, by the way.
Water Cat finding
Sure,
how the
middle
other
health.
half lives.
For sure.
Like, you feel like there's some karma getting paid back to Water Cat here. That's interesting.
Oh, that Aerie also hurting. Meanwhile, top lane, Instrument doing pretty well for Kale into set, and I feel like that only gets better for Kale.
Yeah, that
But,
matchup is definitely Kale favored, but that's supposed to happen later.
So these crabs are going to be interesting because both junglers are on top side. They do spot. I don't think they actually spot each other right now. Zinzao looking to trap Ivern, but Ivern's already cleared, so he gets a deep ward on the blue, starts the crab, and they're definitely going to fight each other right now. Meanwhile, bot lane is what we're looking at, and Seraphine is not walking over, so looks like Guster did get that crab. And that is a huge tempo advantage for him after kind of being behind on tempo for just walking bot side and getting nothing for it. But he gets first crab, so I think he's okay with it.
Yeah, Ivern's still up in CS. Looks like Chaser and Haya are gonna try and make sure he can get the other crab.
Being up in CS as jungler whenever there's no camps alive doesn't mean anything. As you can see, Xin Zhao's gonna finish the last camp, catch up and farm, and unless Ivern can get a gank here, I think the increased tempo just means a slightly faster recall timer. Although he is in an interesting spot for Thresh Lantern, as Watercat is playing a dangerous game right now.
Watercat's got to use this TP here. Do not stay in lane.
Right,
But-
now, Guster was not able to find that gank mid that Duddy was able to snowball off of last game, and Watercat does keep in, and it's fine to be behind in this matchup early. Speaking of being behind early, it looks like Instrument is starting to feel that matchup deficit before level 6.
Yeah, the Kassadin Seraphine matchup is pretty tough for the Kassadin until level 6. Then it gets a lot better for the Kassadin.
So far, a pretty quiet game, and I think that favors Asylum. However, it could blow up at any moment. There's just so much CC, so much potential for things to open up. As you can see, both junglers are around the spot side right now. And Thresh could get a hook at any time, or then get any kind of knockup, but it looks like it's just going to be wave clear and walk away.
Yeah, everybody taking a more passive approach to game 2 here. It would seem.
Well, Watercrat's kind of forced to. I can't be doing that bullying stuff when Kassadin yet.
Not yet. Level 6.
And here it is, but with Seraphine's ability to be defensive, still gonna jump in immediately. Double Q you use though, and Banana Man's still trading positively on the home bars.
Yeah, definitely went better for him than it did in game 1. We'll have to see how that trading comes out with the Kassadin shield and whether or not Watercat is effective with it.
Oh, that's slow? Okay, I thought there was gonna be more, but I think the Q is off cooldown. Meanwhile, Guster has been able to find a dragon timing. Ivern is on Grubs, and let me tell you, whenever Grubs came out, I played Ivern a lot. Before you're level 6, you do not take these camps easily. This is going to take a long time.
Yeah, Haya on
You
the
can
way
see
up for
Thresh
that.
rotate. Yeah, Haya's up there, and it's not to protect him from other people, it's to protect him from these grubs. I mean, that might be a bit of an exaggeration, but these things take forever. If you thought Zen Dao taking objectives was bad, wait till you see Daisyless Ivern.
It is a little rough for Ivern.
Now, Alistair has used this roam timer. He doesn't have to contest the grubs, but he has gotten to the Raptor Pit. Guster is going to take this, and they have the potential to dive Watercat, but that is a level 7 Kassadin. It's kind of harder than it looks.
Yeah, a lot of mobility, but they do go ahead and steal the camp away from Ivern.
Ivan's like, aha, I've come to collect you, friends, and then he finds a grave instead, and he's really sad. But Watercat taking a lot of damage here will dodge the Q, which is the most important ability to dodge for damage. And now he can kind of walk up to these minions, because while Q is on cooldown, there's no way he dies. But the Q damage comes out. Now the ultimate, and he has to flash. Banana Man!
Oh,
I did not see that he was taking that tower shot. He lives, though, so calculated. It's all good. But now Xin Zhao kind of has to clean up the mini wave.
30 hit points.
Yeah, calculated. Everyone knows how much tower damage does. So Xin Zhao and Ivern will find each other in the mid side, but Ivern still doesn't have ultimate, which is kind of funny because on the grub side of the jungle, you usually do get 6 first, but Zinda's just gotten more camps and didn't have to share experience with his epic monster. So Daisy's just not here yet.
Yeah, little strange, is slightly behind, but did just now hit 6. So we'll be seeing.
It is interesting to see a Xin Zhao use his early game pressure for specifically objectives and farm. Meanwhile, Banana Man getting jumped on, and this matchup has taken a turn. As we all knew it would after Cassidy got 6, but it sure changed quickly.
Yeah, you see that blasting wand come out against a rune. So you got some pages versus the blasting wand. And yeah, that's exactly what that matchup looks like.
So with this Cassidy getting to level 7, basically free and clear, not even down CS. And with this Kale in a very similar situation in a lot of ways, although now there might be more of a fight. Set has a lot of opportunity to damage with the W, and Instrument is feeling the pressure still in a way that Cassidy has not. Or has been able to... Oh, Daddy also here potentially for a gank. Kale does have ult, does have flash, and is going to have to use both of those very well. As Daddy takes a tower shot, misses the Q. So this dive got a lot harder. And we're going to look bot lane for the wave clear and crash for fun. And it looks like Kale's just backing off and respecting it. Meanwhile, Cassidy, not respecting anything, says, I will have control of the wave, Banana Man, and there's nothing you can do about it. And there really is nothing she can do about it, because Guster's just walking up to the top side to try to help his top lane out.
Yeah, they really needed to get a kill over and slow Cassidy's ramping time.
And the Q misses despite the root, so this trade just looks disgusting. Junglers are here. Top lane isn't here, though. Instrument can't get here in time. And that is 3 plates over to the set. So now what I said about the scaling matchups kind of getting their scaling free and clear is no longer true. I do feel like Kale is behind quite a bit of gold. It looks like 400 right now. Meanwhile, Cassidy is up gold on Banana Man.
Yeah, there is just a little over a 1k gold advantage here for the Elysium. So they managed to play this early game extremely well, haven't taken a death, and that's exactly where they want to be. They didn't have to make anything happen, they just had to not die.
Riley bot lane also has, I think after this wave, 10 CS lead? Might be slightly more. And that's also a big deal whenever you're talking about Sivir versus Jhin.
Yeah, another one of those just wants to sit in lane, scale, and not fight. Sivir very happy not to be fighting.
So it definitely feels like, you know, Bloom had to play the scaling side last time, wasn't able to make it work. And now they're against the scaling and they're just not able to make the aggression happen even with the same Xin Zhao pick.
Yeah, Guster, even with the you know, has that slight CS lead.
Oh, Guster does find someone. Maybe he can turn it on now. Haya has to flash, still gets hit by the W, will throw out a defensive hook, which does bring out the disengage. But now this AD carry matchup, I just want to be on the side of Sivir, who has a full Yuntal versus some Sarita Dirk and other, you know, item components, but no finished item. Plus your Sivir versus Jhin. I feel like that tower is going to lose plates as long as the supports are both roaming. However, it does look like Bloom is going to just do the cross map, bring the Alistar down, take the dragon, and it'll be 6 scrubs for the first 2 dragons, which is okay if you're against a scaling team. You know, they're not necessarily going to pressure that towers that much, although they do have a Sivir, and Cassidy can side lane, but at least you're denying them the ability to get to Soul, and you are going to force them to fight at the 3rd and 4th dragon.
Yeah, I'm not sure how well that fight goes, though, to be completely honest.
Banana Man is trying to bait Watercat in, but she is just not biting. She may not know the cow is there, but she knows something is up whenever you could just jump on that earthing. Now she will go in, because she's got a little tower there to protect her, so the health bars will equal out.
Yeah, very impressive to see how Banana Man has been playing this whole laning phase. And Watercat's just been able to survive.
And there just wasn't any pressure from the Zinzao. I don't know if there was no coordination between Banana Man or Guster, or if Watercat was just able to play around it, being extremely greedy on the first recall teleport, and then being able to jump in after a level 6, and now you see the result. Up a level on Kassadin, and up about 2 or 3 waves of CS.
Yeah, it's going.
Actually, 3 waves exactly.
Watercat, like, knows when to go in, when to go out.
And that's when to go in. Zinzao has to flash to match it as well. It'll be a 1-for-1, but you'll take that as a Kassadin. Does lose a wave for it. Meanwhile, bot lane, Cloudberry finds Sivir. Sivir just one turns out, though. That's the power of Thresh. Kale ult is not very powerful if you can't get under your own tower. Will get ulted away from it. Has to flash back in. Daisy is going to go for the knockup. Can't quite make it. And while Daisy is a powerful tanker, they're not going to get the dive, but they will get plenty of plate hold.
Yeah, they should actually get this top tower here.
And first tower will most likely secure them well, I mean, I guess technically for specifically feats of strength, they're not close to that. Guster goes in on Sofand, who does not have ultimate, but there's no tower there for Guster either. W damage doesn't quite burst him down, so he will be able to walk away, but he failed in protecting the tower. And now you're against Kassadin and you lost first tower, and your Kale is not scaling at all.
Yeah, is slightly up in CS, you know, was it like 6? But not how you wanted that lane to go at all. But Gusta really hasn't been able to impact, was able to get that return kill there in the mid, but outside of that, not really able to find much success here.
So I think this game is going to blow up whenever the 3rd dragon spawns in 2.5 minutes. It could be over Rift Herald as well. That will be the 3rd objective for Feats of Strength. Yet at the same time, I think it's really going to be over this dragon. And until then, the Kassadin Sivir team is just happy to farm.
Yeah,
And happy
exactly
to jump on Seraphine for fun. For sure. Although Kassadin did ult in with Alistair available, but High is also available, so can always diffuse that play. And so can Watercat, just by dashing out of Cloudbee's combo.
Because the champion exists.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it'd be
Nice combo. Would be a shame if I had flash on 6-second cooldown that also did damage. Hook comes in on Cloudbee. Sivir is not going to be available though, so it's just going to be support battle for fun. Zinzao and Ivern are pathing down here though. And it's 90 seconds before this dragon spawns. Watercat jumping on Banana. But it looks like both teams want to be there early with jungle pressure. Cloudbee is the first one to get engaged on, though he's so low, I don't think Zen being here matters. The Alistair ult will help a little bit. But the, I don't even remember what the item is. Cloudbee does go down. Hook comes in on Guster. General is pretty good spacing. It just doesn't have a team supporting it, so it won't matter. So it's just a full 2 kills and feats of strength for Asylum, and they're also going to be able to easily contest this dragon in 1 minute.
Yeah,
it is redemption. I remember that item. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot that item. Oh my goodness. It was just like a green circle appeared. I was like, my brain completely froze. But either way, complete win for Asylum. And they still are the ones with the Kassadin at level 12 versus Kale at level 11. And you know, we talk about the lane to lane matchup. Sure, Kassadin is up 600 gold, but he's also up 600 gold on the Kale, and I feel like that's going to be the more impactful matchup to look at, where the gold lies between Kale and Kassadin rather than between the 2 mid laners.
So yeah, there's 2 kills go over, and I have to wonder, Dragon's still not up for another 20 seconds. What were they fighting over?
I think they were fighting over being there first and setting up a play that wasn't expected. Unfortunately, both teams had the same idea, And Elysium just had a much stronger 3v3, especially whenever Clobby was so engaged because he thought he had the numbers advantage. Meanwhile, the number advantage is clearly with a Set, who's walked all the way down here to find Cloudby again, who does not have ultimate to tank. The root will also come down, Daisy will knock up, and that kill will go over to Sofanda. So sure, Kale gets some of the nice solo experience, but they will not be stacking dragons any longer, as Elysium does get the first dragon for themselves.
Yeah, Kale has the 2-level lead, but hasn't been really able to do anything with it. Still not first item.
Well, that might change. Sofanda is able to teleport back though, so other than the crash, Instrument is not able to get any plates for himself. So Natural's Tooth will be completed, which is, you know, a pretty nice item for being a threat for whenever Sofanda just walks down to bot lane. At the same time, I don't know if it's going to be enough to discourage him from doing so whenever he gets a dragon and a kill for it.
Yeah, really, really tough situation. It feels like you're up in top lane, but you're still losing it. And bot lane tower is now going to go down as well. So you're 4-1, you got both towers. Haven't really had any pressure?
Yeah, and once Cassidy finishes the Sork Shoes, I'm going to see something I don't see very often, which is the augmented feats of strength Sork Shoes on a Cassidy. I just feel like that's almost oxymoron, because that champion does not give you much power for objectives or first kills, but Water has just made it able to work. Maybe I spoke too soon, though, as Water is getting CC'd up, and Sofanda's just able to walk down because Kale has no pressure. So now he ults in Cloudberry, who for the 3rd time in a row is just caught in a fight he doesn't want to be in. Ultimate will let him tank for a little bit. Guster is able to come as well. Here's Daisy, though. Chaser will get the kill this time. And even though Instrument is scaling on the top side, Sofanda is just able to find more and more for his team.
Yeah, so the 2v1 gank turns into a 5v3
Yeah.
that fast because of lane prio.
And
The
you
macro's
know, that's not
just
very
better
common
from
for...
Elysium.
So now they're going to be able to get Rift Herald as well. Kale is able to get the crash off, so that's good, but no tower damage, despite that Asher's Tooth, because that would be a suicide mission. And we're not quite to that level of desperation. We can also see that Autocon's going to spawn in 30 seconds in the top side, so that might affect lane assignments as well. But right now, the 5v5 is just so clearly on Elysium's side that we're going to have to see some cross maps. Now, last time I said that they were down 3 dragons, or 2 dragons, and that makes it much harder. This time, they're up 2 dragons to 1. Cross maps are a lot easier whenever the enemy team has to stack dragons for a little bit before Soul happens. So, Bloom does have more space to make cross maps happen. However, this Kassadin is kind of a question of, do we really want to try to get the late game? And I mean, obviously you're forced to. You're not going to win a 5v5 right now, but it's not going to be easy either way.
Yeah, you need to buy more time for Instrument here to scale up. Needs to put on another 3 levels, but has to do it before Watercat puts on another 2.
Okay, now this is a nice pick potentially on Chaser, but the Lantern's available and Chaser doesn't even need it. Cloudby once again is just in a fight CC'd for so long. Redemption used as an assassin item. Flash hook onto Ren, who only has barrier, no cleanse. That won't protect him, and he will go down in a fight that Cloudby started. Now there's not necessarily enough priority for an objective to be started, but they're not even taking the fights, and they're getting them.
Ooh, and this is
Banana Man is not getting jumped on a Kassadin by now. Set's not that much better though, as the CC should come out. The W instead. Sofanda is able to get that kill. And I think the lane assignments are just tough. I don't know who you make go against Set. Sivir obviously is going to be able to take whatever tower she touches. It is looking very hard for Bloom right now.
Yeah, it's really, really tough. It was a straight 2v2 and Cloud went in. Quickly turned into 2v3. Duddy right there, right where Duddy needed to be. And it's going to feel like I'm picking on Guster at this point, but Guster's still nowhere to be found. Like, there needs to be that impact here from the Xin. But once again, he's in a very hard spot
now.
with 3 losing
Let me tell you,
lanes.
21 minutes of Zen does not feel like you can do much of an impact in almost any game. let alone one where you've got all of these massive deficits in these lanes. I mean, Xin Zhao's not going to jump on a set and win that one out. Xin Zhao jumping on a Kassadin's kind of a joke. Cloudby hooked once again. I don't think there's follow-up. Actually, the Lantern brings in the follow-up. And Cloudby has accepted his fate. They will give it over to the Thresh, which is deeply funny to me. And now Dragon spawning in 20 seconds without a support. Water also just jumping in on a Zen instead of the other way around. Will get rooted as well. Daisy's here. Redemption used once again for damage. That's not a healing item, I guess. So now they have the choice to even potentially siege mid before Dragon. Herald will be even committed. And I think they're going to go for that before they even go for Dragon. Oh, the hook off of the Herald as well. Ren is in so much trouble. Seraphino protects for quite a while, but there's no summoners available. Kale ult will keep Banana Man alive for now, but that's a Kassadin who can dive under anything. We'll go 2 towers deep to kill Banana Man. And now this Dragon is alive, and Elysium just doesn't care. They will finally collect it after getting 2 towers for themselves and 3 kills. But I don't think they're really playing for soul. I think they're playing for in the game.
Yeah, really, really good transition and macro here coming up from Elysium. Like, they are where they need to be first, with more members. Yeah.
We've also got a setup soon that I haven't seen in quite some time. Voracious Otacon is actually the spawn this game because First Blood took so long. And because of that, and the fact that Otacon hasn't been taken yet because Elysium has just been on the map taking towers instead, they should be able to use the Otacon buff to get Baron if they are able to collect it. That also means, to be clear, that for Bloom, if they win one fight, they are able to get a massive lead by taking Otacon into Baron, should they somehow find a fight.
Yeah, finding the fight and being able to win the fight, this very well could be looking like a 4 Ocean Soul coming out for Elysium, and that is terrifying.
Right. Kale outskills a lot. I'm not sure if she outskills a Kassadin jumping on her with Ocean Soul. Like, Kale will be invincible, sure. Kassadin will be invincible in his own way.
Yeah, that's a little painful. I mean, it's not Cloud, but it's probably the second best thing you could really ask for. And Watercat has hit that level 16 benchmark. Instrument still 1 out.
Well, she's got a Roa, so it's kind of like cheating, but I don't think it really matters. Level 16 Kassadin versus level 16 Kale with only 2 items. I think the Kassadin's got the favor there, especially if they do continue to collect these objectives. As Watercat is going to collect the Banana Man objective, even buffers the ult to make sure the charm doesn't land, is able to ult out, still has flash, and does not need to use it to get an assassination as the objectives is spawned.
Yeah, Watercat just piloting this champion like we all have seen in our solo queue games.
And it does feel like they're close to getting a checkmate in draft as well. If Watercat, that's a little aggressive, does have Kale ult available. This is a little obscene. And that's a lot of experience to give over to Kale as well, but they are going to use that to get Baron, and I don't think there's any contest, so, you know, Watercat absolutely can go for that if it gets her team Baron. You know, it's almost to the point where her team could get Baron anyway, so I don't know if it was worth it, but at the same time, if you're going to give your death to give over Baron, you usually accept that no matter the odds.
Yeah, I think
Fanda,
they call that
also
limit
just fighting
testing.
Cloudby. Yeah, for sure. Cloudby will find some, you know, CC on Safranda. Safranda doesn't care. Flash in from Haya, finds the hook again. It is a Xin Zhao, so he's not close to dying. This is the first time I've seen Redemption used for actual healing. But now they're full health with a Baron and a Sivir. Kassadin also will have teleport in 11 seconds. Hook also finds Xin Zhao again, who has no ultimate this time. Will walk away. Safranda taking a lot of damage, uses that for damage himself, picking up that Xin Zhao. And now they can just continue to siege this. Kassadin will even teleport bot lane to make sure the siege can continue after this tower falls. Looks like Safranda also will be teleporting in, potentially. Looks like they're going to go for lethal damage on the base. They're using both teleports just to make sure both side lanes will go down here.
Yeah, definitely. And that W damage from the set over on the Gusty, it's about 3/4 of the health bar. And it
I think that is the first time
full pressure.
I've seen I think that's the first time I've seen 2 side laners just teleport to side lane while their team was sieging mid and say, you can hold this 3v5 and siege it, or we're just gonna get side lane. All inhibitors will go down here. And if the space, if they can hold off this push for Bloom, maybe they have a chance. We'll find the damage onto Ivern, who has to flash out, will get shut down. But there's just so much damage remaining. Chaser doesn't need an Ivern to kill you. Watercat especially doesn't. With jumping in onto the Kale ult will go down, and now Kale will go down. The Fountain won't save you either, as the Nexus will fall. Rin will be the only one to escape the slaughter, as Elysium go to 2-0.
Yeah, it was close. Instrument didn't get to level 16.
I mean, I think you can just set Kale XP to level 18 there. I don't think it matters, unfortunately.
That fight was almost turned. Did do a bunch of damage in that team fight. It just, they needed more time, and props to Elysium, never came off the gas. Cassidy hits 18 in that amount of time.
For sure.
Oddly, didn't do the most damage. Most damage coming out from Chaser. Silently going 507 with almost 26k damage.
Okay, so we do have to bring up, right? So, like, obviously a reverse sweep is possible, but I do feel like it's near checkmate if your mid laner is able to pick a champion like Victor, be aggressive early, win the game off of that. And then you say, I'm going to pick Cassidy actually, you can't aggro me, and let you pick the Xin Zhao and completely carry the game anyways. What is a drafter to do for this team? If, like, you called in the best drafters in the world to try to figure out what Bloom is going to do, you can't let them have Cassidy and you can't let them have Victor. How does Bloom get to a point where their mid lane cannot be a major deficit early?
Yeah, a really tough call, and I am not a good drafter anyways. Drafting is not my
Fair
strong
enough.
suit.
I just feel like we're close to a checkmate scenario, and Bloom Gaming not only have to answer the next threat that Elysium throws at them, they also have to answer the next 2. And right now, they are in a corner that looks hard to get out of for sure.
Yeah, I think like you have to get winning lanes. One of your lanes has to win. Guster has to get ahead, got to be on something aggressive, and be able to spread that across.
And I think another thing that has to change is that if you're going to draft an aggressive jungler, it can't be for objectives. It has to be for punishing some of these lanes. Unfortunately, the Xin Zhao was able to get leads for Bloom. Don't get me wrong. Those dragons were stacked.
Yes.
There was a huge farm lead.
The other objectives were fantastic by Guster.
At the same time, Cassidy doesn't care about dropping 2 dragons. He doesn't care about dropping 3 dragons. I mean, 3 dragons might be where it's like, okay, guys, can we group? But he didn't have to drop 3 dragons. He just fought for that 3rd one, got the 3rd one, got the 4th one, and then also got every other objective after that, because by then Cassidy was already dictating the lane.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting here looking into game 3. I think they are taking that 5. May already be out. So we can jump to break.
All right, we will jump to break, and then we'll see how Bloom gets out of this. All right, everyone, welcome back to Game 3 draft between Elysium and Bloom. Bloom has chosen red side once again. I think it is the right choice, but I don't know if they have an answer to this Iron B1 or if their answer is to ban it, because I feel like, I mean, obviously it wasn't just the Ivern. The Cassidon B5 was also very impactful, but they are going to ban the Ivern, and I feel like Bloom is not going to pick the Zinzao this time as well.
Yeah, I think this is really a tough spot. I do think the Ivern has to be banned now that they've shown that. And the Thresh.
Yeah,
Yep,
Haya
take
was
Haya
just
off
performing
that.
a little bit too much. That champion. I do like the Sivir B1, however, with Bloom getting the answer to the Sivir this time, they might find something better than the Seraphine Jhin. So, I think, I mean, obviously, like, their bot lane has been fine. You know, we talk about losing lanes. I don't think their bot lane has ever necessarily completely lost lane. Last lane was worst of the two, but it was just by a CS deficit, not necessarily anything catastrophic.
Yeah,
But whenever
there
you
wasn't
got
a
something
whole.
like Kog'Maw, you're totally fine with the CS deficit, especially if it's with a Lulu. A small CS deficit is what you're praying for whenever you get out of lane phase, because if you've got that, you've outscaled.
Yeah, the Protect the Kog'Maw camp possibly coming out from Bloom, like the last stand.
I
I
do,
like it.
I do feel like Kassadin is going to be a strong pick if Bloom do not hold up their mid lane pick, though. So they've got to be very aware of that. Rakan also a nice one.
Yeah, Engage coming out. Now, if they hold true, we'll probably see the jungle come out here.
I could see Xin Zhao here as well. Once again, for Elysium this time, not for Bloom. But it's not necessarily what they want to go with. It's actually the Jarvan, which is kind of similar, or just maybe a little bit better into the Kog'Maw specifically.
It is a low mobility champion, so Jarvan wall in does make that a little more entertaining.
And the Cassiopeia for Bloom, taken blind. I think this means you have to ban Kassadin. Maybe you're more comfortable for Banana in Cassiopeia versus Kassadin than Seraphine versus Kassadin. But it just feels like if Bloom banned the Kassadin, we don't have to have this discussion at all.
Yeah, I like this adaptation here from Bloom. Boom, let's get Banana
Nuclear ban
on
also very well
ban,
deserved.
one of his big ones. And this Cassiopeia has been catching a ban.
So we'll see if Bloom decide to take off the Kassadin. They take off the Syndra instead, which I respect. But I hope the Banana is ready to coordinate with his jungler to punish this Kassadin more if it does come up. Or maybe Elysium just believes that will happen and won't pick it.
I
And it
can't.
could be Cassiopeia Flex as well.
Yeah, I couldn't see picking Cassidon into Cassiopeia. Like,
Yeah,
Cass, she just
I
shuts him
couldn't
down
see it.
too hard.
That's fair. I couldn't see it last game either, and there it was. But you're right that counterpicking yourself might not be. That might be a bridge too far.
That would be a statement game though.
I mean, there's no more draft mind games. If you win that, it's over. If you lose that, then you're kind of taking away from your own ability to play the draft. So you got to be confident to take it for sure.
And
So
first
the
time we're gonna
Volibear
see
lock
the
in.
volley.
Yeah, it could technically be Flex as well. But like you said, I doubt they're going to pick Kassadin into it anyways. Tryndamere is going to be the pick right now. And I imagine we're just going to see another mage for
Tryndamere.
Watercat. It could be Tryndamere mid technically as well, but that seems a little... I mean, I'd rather just have Kassadin. Here comes the mage though, Orianna. And I think that's a pretty good thing going with this comp. You've got Rakan, you've got Jarvan, you've got Tryndamere. So many people you can just say, here, take this ball, bring it to that Kog'Maw. It's a very important letter for him to receive. And even the best part is, Lulu can W the ball carrier. She can ult the Kog'Maw to knock up the ball carrier. The ultimate will still come through. And Kog'Maw's got to flash it, basically.
Yeah, definitely the first time I think we're gonna see a Tryndamere on stream in the LXC. Not sure. It's been played this split.
Wait a second.
Cassiopeia
Does that
top.
change everything? I think so, yeah. I think it is Cassiopeia top, which does show the power of the flex. Deny the Cassidon by picking Cassiopeia. And then pick something that's strong into the mage, which potentially is this Tristana, or... I mean, we have Lulu. It has to be Tristana mid, I assume. I love EP Kog'Maw, but I don't think this is the moment.
AP Cosmos, that's some cooking here. Game 3 of semis.
No,
when
you
you're
have
down
Lulu.
2-0.
Yeah,
Oof.
you got Lulu. Okay. I'm just saying it would be a massive mind game to pick Kog'Maw Lulu and then go AP Kog'Maw with a different hyper carry. I would love if a team pulled that off. I just don't think this is the moment for that.
I think showing the Cassiopeia to get him to agree it's all mid and then coming in with the Trist is amazing.
Yes, I do like that main game. That main game makes a lot more sense for game
It
3,
does.
and I'm really glad that Blue came up with it. Apparently, they did hire a professional coach that I was saying they might need to draft for them, because I do feel like they've been able to maneuver themselves into a much better draft than the first 2 games. However, with the gap that has been shown in the games itself, we'll have to see if it's enough for them, as the Cassiopeia is locked in top lane. Technically, I guess you could go AD Kog'Maw mid. I don't see why you would, though, but we'll confirm that for you in a few moments. If the Tristana goes mid, but I'm 99% sure it will be Tristana mid.
Should be. Definitely should be. That's a good matchup for Tristan and the Ori. The Cog, it's okay, but Trist likes
Okay,
that
will be the
matchup.
Tristana mid. So I do like how Bloom have cooked up this draft. But we will have to see if it is enough after a quick break, and then we'll be into potentially the final game of the series, or where Bloom starts their comeback.
Can we ever bounce on the rhythm, yeah. You gotta make a move to me, baby, yeah. You know me, I'm not wasting time. No secrets left to hide. You gotta show me love when you're ready, yeah. What can we ever bounce on the rhythm, yeah. You gotta make a move to me, baby, yeah. You know me, I'm not wasting time. No secrets left to hide. You gotta show me love when you're ready, yeah. Say yeah. Say, you know me, I got no time to waste. Type of energy that can't be replaced, no debate. We can take it back to my place. I can turn around, let me show you how it tastes, yeah. A baller, mine on the dollar. Swallowing the bottle while you're smoking on gelato. Now do you need some of that noodle? Just tell me that you're coming through. What can we ever What can we ever bounce on the rhythm, yeah. You gotta make a move to me, baby, yeah. You know me, I'm not wasting time. No secrets left to hide. You gotta show me love when you're ready, yeah. What can we ever bounce on the rhythm, yeah. You gotta make a move to me, baby, yeah. You know me, I'm not wasting time. No secrets left to hide. You gotta show me love when you're ready, yeah. What can we ever bounce on the rhythm? It's like a glitch I can't control. Someone's fucking with my dough. Kinda voodoo shit, you know. You won't find me tongue-tied. No witness on my side. Harmonies when I cry.
stuff makes me nauseous, losing what they taught us. Gotta tread real cautious. But I go back to default. I go back to default. I go back to. It's like a glitch I can't control. Someone's fucking at my door. Kind of voodoo shit, you know. But you won't find me tongue-tied. No witness on my side. Harmonies when I cry. This stuff makes me nauseous, losing what they taught us. Gotta tread real cautious. But I go back to default. 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 I go back to.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Game 3 of Elysium versus Bloom Gaming. And we've got a 5-point once again, although we've got a surrounded Tristana in a lot of ways. But Tristana should be fine, I imagine. There's not much ability to CC here. I mean, Rakan obviously can start W, but at that point, Tristana can probably just walk out. We will get a deep ward.
Free
It is
ward.
spotted by Duddy. And I don't believe it is going to be matched on the other side. Actually, it's going right now. Cloudberry, not under much pressure. Khan also started Q, so that CC isn't materializing. So the wards will be literally mirrored. And the jungle starts might be as well, because, you know, they're over here. It's 10 seconds till camp spawn. And I think they're both starting big camps on opposite sides. Literally red buff. And I think we're gonna get another pause.
Yes, airport Wi-Fi strikes again.
Well, what would it be in a best of 5 without 2 pauses so far?
Alright, props to Cloud for playing apparently in a cafe to make this game happen tonight. Painful.
Props to the cafe for restarting the computer constantly, but you know. Maybe they're just like extorting him. Alright, I can see that you're in a competitive series that they're pausing for you. We're gonna charge you double.
You have to buy one of those $10 coffees every pause.
Yeah.
And the muffin. Muffin's important.
So we've got some nice solo lane matchups for Bloom. in a draft that basically they orchestrated to get those matchups. I mean, the Tryndamere didn't necessarily have to be picked, but it's what we went with for Elysium, so they will be playing Tryndamere and a Cassiopeia.
Yep. Now there is no teleport on this Tryndamere, so it will not be joining these fights. But
And then we've also got Kog'Maw Lulu.
And we are seeing a break in the normal summoners that we have been seeing with double barrier, double exhaust. Lulu has decided Cloud is going to bring a heal to the party.
Yeah, that's correct. My AD carries might pressure me to take Ignite. Sometimes I'm playing Lulu with Kog'Maw, it's heal. Alright, we're not taking no Ignite. Maybe exhaust, but I think heal is a very effective summoner here. Now, I could see exhaust for sure, but the problem is that I feel like the damage coming onto Kog'Maw is Orianna in a lot of ways, and Lulu is not exhausting her, so might as well go with heal.
You never know. Could have been a
Lulu. I would love to see a fight like in slow motion where Orianna ults the Kog'Maw and Lulu flash exhaust to Orianna. That would be very cool, but I just don't think it's very realistic.
I mean, it is the support's job to die for the ADC, right?
Right. That would just be like one of those highlight reels like, oh my gosh, how did they think of that in that moment? And it's fun to think of in theory, but just take the heal. It's going to be 90% as effective as that crazy scenario and much easier to execute and much more effective in lane and all sorts of other things.
I don't know. If I'm that Lulu, TP. I'm going
True.
to other lanes. The moment they dive my cog, I'm like, I'm out.
You know what? I've got a backup carry in Banana Man. Sorry, Ren. You're just the bait pick to make them think we're doing Kog'Maw, Lulu. You might as well go AP. I'm not protecting you.
Exactly.
But he's got lethal tempo, so I think he is locked into the 80 damage, unfortunately for him. And unfortunately for Cloud Breeze, so I think Lulu will be on his side, by his side the entire game.
Well, if you're looking to run the AP cog, you're running what? Arcane Comet?
Well, you're not running lethal tempo. I think it is usually Arcane Comet. It could be, if you're extra spicy, it could be Dark Harvest, but it normally would be Comet. It could be Airy in certain matchups if you really want to go for crazy poke, I guess, like Kennen, but I think it usually would be just Arcane Comet for sure.
So you're saying no electrocute. I should stop trolling my games?
You live your life. I think electrocute could be better in lane technically, but the whole point of Iki Kog'Maw is to get those ultimates off in poke later in the game. And I don't think, okay, if you're absolutely amazing and get the E at max range and then R again, maybe you can take electrocute, but it just seems like Comet would be more appreciated. I don't know, maybe if you get enough lane power, it might be worth it.
It's a fun fact actually about me with Kog'Maw. Not that anyone asked, but my first gold I ever hit was on Kog'Maw way back in like season 2.
Nice.
First time hitting gold was on a Kog'Maw carry.
Okay, but AD or AP?
Yeah, I was playing him both ways at that time.
And you had like the it was kind of like Keystones, but they were different, right? It was the bottom tree that mattered back in season 2.
Oh no, we still had the buy runes and stuff for the essences, and that was a whole different time. That was a different game. Looked different too.
Well, you had like the lethal tempo kind of thing. I remember that one because Leona took it for a short period of time back in Masteries. But what was the AP one like? Wasn't there like just a flat damage buff or something? I don't remember. Gotta look at the law wiki after this for nostalgia.
Yeah, I have to check. I know I had a buddy that for the longest time, it was really funny because he hit, I think he hit like flat 1 on a full attack speed Annie. And he tried his hardest to tell me how Annie was good because she had the longest like attack range in the game.
Yeah, just play AD carry Annie. Duh.
That's what he did. It was ridiculous.
What's this Tristana champion people are talking about?
He just stacked
I want
attack
my
runes.
attack range. I want my attack range at level 1. Come on, man. Okay, so I think we're gonna get into the unpause very soon. We will see the spectator lag. That I love to see. Whoa! I guess that was direct to camera, but that looks a little weird. Anyways, we're gonna see the spectator lag very soon. Don't be alarmed. That's very normal. As lanes are coming in, you expect to see the Sivir get level 2 first. Kog'Maw's trying his best to match it a little bit, but eventually he's gonna have to back up and accept facts. There it is.
There you go. It was a lot of boomerang damage going there that Chaser was able to put out there onto Warren.
Yeah, I mean, Ren should just accept facts. You know, you're not gonna get level 2 against Sivir first. You just gotta back up and take what last hits you can get. I always feel like it's like, if you can't race them, you gotta just hope they screw up the stacking. I don't know. I don't play AD carry at a high level. Anyways, they will get level 2 first, and I think it's a little close. The knockup will come out, shield from Cloudberry, and heal as well. Chaser's just chasing. And man, that is just not the respect you need to give your... maybe you're right. Maybe Cloudberry will be looking at Banana Man later in the game. Because I don't know if this laning phase is salvageable if it's going to continue to go like this for Ren.
Yeah, that's really rough. Not respecting the level 2. You know, they were more than 1 minion off, so being up that close, definitely they paid the price for it. That was immediate.
Okay, no. This is all debate, okay? You have to use heal. Heal's a short cooldown anyway. It doesn't matter. You've got your jungler down here. Might even be skipping camps. You make the Chaser think he's super ahead. I've won lane twice in a row. Oh my gosh, they're not respecting level 2. How foolish. And then Volibear comes in and slams down the hammer. Maybe that's the plan. It's a little 5-head for me. Meanwhile, Tristana jumping in on Watercat. Watercat's got the shield, though. Is level 3. And look at these minions hitting Banana Man. Banana Man doesn't care, though. Jumps in. And the minions went out. First blood for Watercat. And this mid lane matchup is just not getting easier for Banana Man.
Oh, E, not quite off cooldown.
He also finds Instrument. This minion wave will also work for Instrument, but it's working against 2 people. That's a little bit harder. It is a massive minion wave. They don't care. Duddy also even takes the tower shot for fun. And I don't know if they can push that in at least for Cassiopeia, but that is not easy for Instrument to recover from. Volibear is going to try to cross map to get vision. He should know the camps are down because they saw Jarvan with red buff. I guess he saw that Jarvan also skipped the camp, so maybe he's looking for the one missing camp and gets the vision as well. As Guster going to see the aggression again from Banana Man, tries to jump in here, but Watercat still has flash and still has a tower, so the pressure just dissipates.
Yeah, Banana jumps in probably a little early. I think Watercat would have followed to give Volley a chance to get the gank or at least burn that flash. Oh no,
okay, Duddy's back here for the follow-up. And I appreciate this. Not necessarily because he's going for a kill, but because look at Sofanda's health bar. The way they left that gank was so awkward for Sofanda. They got the kill, they were not able to crash the wave. So Instrument's able to teleport in, put the pressure on. Jarvan says, I can go back to my blue and then come back for pressure. However, Banana Man jumping in once again, his favorite thing to do, flashes in even. Will get knocked up by the tower, take a tower shot, get the feat of warfare for Jarvan. So Fanda's still alive and Guster is not looking like he will be able to say the same very soon. Duddy looking for the key Q. Actually, with Trinity not able to follow, I think Volibear does just get to walk out. Still, Guster's tempo has not been used effectively simply because his laners are not finding the plays that he can support with.
Yeah, bit of desperation comes out there from Banana, just trying to make any sort of play happen. And yeah, ends up
definitely
getting
looked close.
Another kill.
I do like Duddy's quick thinking to EQ barely under tower for Banana Man. Maybe if he doesn't take the second tower shot, maybe if he's just out of tower range, that play works. Fortunately, he's gonna jump in again with Volibear behind. Watercat still has everything though. Still has the flash, doesn't even have to use it.
Well, this definitely is a new version of Banana that we're seeing here in Game 3. It is all aggression all the time.
And maybe one of these times he will spin the slot machine and make it work. It gets harder and harder each time. I guess kind of like real gambler fallacy, you know, you're going further and further into debt. And the payout's just not happening.
Yeah, I don't know that Cole is the call if you're going to play that aggressive.
It definitely is like a my mind whenever I'm calm and in Fountain thinking, how will I get back into this game? By Cole. Back in lane, jump in.
It does seem
You
to
know.
be two slightly different play styles.
For sure. My calm collected self buying Cole. In lane, my blood pressure shoots up. I see Orianna. I'm gonna jump in. I can't stop myself.
It's that Lee Sin Q that hits under tower. Like, I really want to take that.
Guster is trying to make the best of a bad situation. Getting this dragon, I technically could spot this. I think he's just gonna go for the ward. There's no reason to check for dragon right now, because I don't think they could stop it anyways. But he does spot it as Chaser gets chased down. This is kind of awkward, because while Rakan is able to get the information that dragon's going down, they kind of already do that. And now Chaser is kind of pushed out of lane. You take the wins where you can get them for Bloom right now. But I don't think it's enough to really say that they're not in a really difficult position right now.
And ults do come through now here for the top laners, so both of them are now 6 and 7. So
It's just unfortunate that this mid lane matchup has also spilled the top lane as well, so Fanda got an assist from that. Will still be at quite the deficit though. I don't think Tryndamere ult will help him that much if he's gonna be poisoned to death. As we see another jump in. Orianna has ult though. Will get ulted away himself, or herself. So, Oliver's on a ward as well. Oh man. Don't get baited, just recall. Oh, but the recall, oh, Lulu blocks. As Fanda baiting in Cassiopeia, who just flashes away. Meanwhile, bot lane, Rakan saw it on vision, said, I can take the 2v3. Let's see if Haya is right. It looks like a right enough to live. And again, Guster has been basically inactivated on this map.
Yeah, not quite 6 yet. If they had 6, could have gone for the dive there, turning that tower off, and they definitely get just Haya. But it's not quite there. The thought process is spot on though. Like, that's the play
I hope
you
Chaser
wanted.
I hope Chaser has a lot of trust in his support, because in solo queue, my Rakan does that. I'm like, I don't know. But it makes it work, As long as you don't die, it's a pretty positive play to just completely destroy the Volibear's tempo, who's really just trying to get some farm, because these lane matchups are going to be hard. You can't make the ganks work. Meanwhile, Banana Man does stop the recall, but will also give over 300 gold to Watercat.
Yeah, more pure aggression coming out here from Banana. And it's starting to become a very large deficit here in the mid lane. It's going to be a 20 CS difference.
99% of just... Oh, Watercat does get jumped on here. Volibear is going for the play, but Watercat just not flashed this entire time. And there's 2 people to support her. So Dudsy will get that kill. 99% of teams stop jumping on Orianna just before the big payout. So, maybe next time.
Absolutely crazy. Once again, Guster finally finds that kill on Watercat, but Duddy and Haya right there, and then boom, it's a 3v1, not the 1v1 cleanup.
Well, for all of that aggression, they did finally get Watercat's flash. So, future aggression will work better, potentially. However, if we do a little looky look at the items spot, we do see Orianna have multiple components that are very powerful. Jumping in from Banana Man once again. Watercat doesn't have ultimate, doesn't really care. She will take the damage and be okay. And once again, it's Lost Chapter Fiendish Codex tier boots versus Doran's Blade Cull boots.
Yeah, and just to point out, this top lane matchup is going poorly very quickly. Like, Instrument is just putting it down, almost a 40 CS lead here over the Tryndamere.
And if you're Bloom, you kind of need that right now, because the pressure has to be offloaded somewhere. If all of your lanes are not coming together, it will not work. Banana Man jumping in again. Watercat does have ultimate. However, can he find her before she gets it off? Ultimate will come out. The auto and shutdown comes in for Tristana without even dying as well. And I guess you just keep on jumping in for Banana Man until Watercat dies.
Yeah, the aggression pays off here. Finally has the BF sword for the damage.
And Cassiopeia has the ability to outplay these sometimes. It's a little hard into Tryndamere, so you can't quite get the ultimate and kill immediately. Ultimate out from Tryndamere. Where do you run as Cassiopeia, though? You run into killing Safanda. So at the very least, you get a 1-for-1 with the wave in an okay position as well. So I think Instrument's okay with that. But the pressure did come for him.
Yeah, well played by Instrument. And, wow. Just, that is a lot of a lead there for that Cassiopeia. Already has one
so
item,
Watercat
picks up a blasting one on the back.
So Watercat's coming back into this lane at the time where grubs can go down. That will be 6 grubs over for the Tryndamere team. Very powerful. However, once again, we do see the 6 grubs for 2 dragons trade. And this time the scaling picture isn't as clear as it was last time. So the 2 dragons could really pay off for Bloom if they're able to keep this Tristana momentum going and not, you know, jump into death a few more times.
Yeah, well, you know, we're almost there. The call's almost paying off.
And, you know, Yuntal also is one of those items that is like the most anemic finish ever, kind of like Manamune, where you kind of need to finish it and then some time before it really does something. As Guster finds Watercat. Watercat doesn't have flash still. Guster taking a lot of damage, though, will get knocked up. Orianna ult finds him as well. Cloudbreeze here to protect, though. Jarvan jumps in on 3 people. They jump out, though. Cloudbreeze's the only one stuck in. Dragon also coming in to help, as Cloudbree is really mad at the Dragon, apparently, or the Dragon's really mad at Cloudbree, I guess. But I think this means that the Dragon trade will not be handshook. And instead, Duddy says, I want the grubs and the Dragon.
Yeah, Watercat now having to play pretty respectful. Is close to that Tristana combo one-shot and no ult here. It's very dangerous for Watercat.
Now, Tryndamere has also kind of abandoned lane for a little bit. Jump in for Banana Man once again. This time, Watercat does not have ultimate. Will have a QW for herself, though, and that damage is pretty intense. Tryndamere here, shield, and that's a kill for Safanda. I guess you can abandon lane if the Tristana is just going to jump in on command.
Yeah, I mean,
that is a nice adaptation. Like, yeah, it's a nice adaptation, you know. I'm already losing lane. If Jarvan's not here, I might as well not be here. Tristana's gonna jump in no matter what I do. I might as well also be there and pick up on that kill.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's a great play from Sofa. Just, hey, I don't like being in lane with Snake Lady. Let me go do some counter juggling. At least I can get some CS there.
For sure. And this Volibear has not been able to scale. We've seen him time and time again not be able to follow up on aggressive plays from Bloom and just unfortunately not have time to farm. And now Tryndamere's in his jungle because he can't be bothered to lane against Cassiopeia. That's insulting. As the Savanda will find Guster. Cassiopeia could come back, but I think he just wants the lane. So Guster will have to fend for this himself. Orianna also on the way, but Guster does not want to let this go. Cassiopeia's not coming. Flash will miss. And Banana Man's surely not jumping in on that.
Yeah, that's a little rough. Jarvan is so far ahead. Even though Tryndamere is behind, he does have two kills. But Guster's even more behind.
Alright, so we talked about how Rin was in a pretty tough situation, and then we talked about Tristana jumping in for about 5 minutes. And suddenly it looks like Rin has kind of recovered. Sure, the item power spikes aren't there quite yet, but he's just about to finish call. That would mean Blade of the Ruined King's down on first recall. And sure, Yuntal is a completed item, but once again, it's one of those items that takes a little bit to actually be, you know, that power level of a completed item. So Ren has just quietly been able to lane. Meanwhile, Safanda, Cassiopeia finally decides to come collect her laner. Banana Man apparently jumped in once again. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm 90% on that. Cassiopeia will pick up the shutdown on Tryndamere, which is a shutdown, surprisingly. And Ren is still able to lane for now. The Cloudbreeze health bar is pretty low.
Yeah, another good pickup here from Instrument. And all the eggs kind of starting to shift into that basket there. As the hope.
I think it's the kind of hybrid basket of, can Cassiopeia pull up enough pressure that we can stall the game out long enough that Ren can be the one basket that we truly put all the eggs in. But right now, yes, it is absolutely an Instruments basket.
Yeah, playing it very well. Almost has that tower down. It looks like as well. Tower just under half. Is the lowest health tower currently in the game.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how much these teams really care about feats of strength. Right now, it looks like it's very likely to go to Elysium, even though they might lose first tower simply because of the kills and the objectives being the way they are. However, I'm thinking that Kog'Maw Lulu's okay with that. You know, they don't need the little red mark by their boots. They just need their Kog'Maw to have items.
Yeah, if you're Bloom here, especially on the spot lane, like, you really couldn't be happier. The fact that you're more or less even with this Sivir, that's really the best you can hope for.
You could be a little happier if you just look at the top side of the map, or like the mid part of the map rather, but for sure, the Kog'Maw has performed as the pick was intended. However, this Orianna champion is the intended counter, right? It's not necessarily Jarvan who has 3 kills, it's not necessarily the Sivir or the Tryndamere, it's just, can someone bring this 4-kill Orianna's ball to Kog'Maw and shut him down? But Ren is, just quietly able to get the wave in cleanly against Chaser, bring him to half health. As long as he knows where Jarvan is, he will pressure this tower.
Yeah, Sivir may have the CS lead, but really I think the lane is pretty much just being completely dictated here by the Kog'Maw.
Jungles find each other. Tristana cannot help, so Volibear has to ultimate out. That means that ultimate will not be available for Dragon in 30 seconds. However, Tryndamere has come for the pressure on mid. They're going to use Herald to try to get first tower. This does mean Instrument is going to get a solo kill on tower top lane. As they actually get the tower first. Oh, this recall cancel from Jarvan is a little aggressive. Guster is stopped, however. Duddy, you are in the middle of 2 towers because you didn't take the tower down with the Herald. Ren also coming to defuse some of the pressure, fighting off the Rakan. And now I feel like the tempo of this Jarvan is completely shot. He used it trying to stop Guster from recalling. Now Guster says, I don't have to recall, I have to start this dragon.
Yeah, that should cost him Dragon. Cat Instrument is
Cassiopeia
here.
is all down here. Right, and Tryndamere does not have teleport, reminder, so surely this dragon will go over to side of Bloom unless Chaser gets a really nice Q. I don't think, surely, okay. Surely that doesn't happen, so Panda will get the tower top lane.
Way closer.
Which does help him a little bit in that matchup. Yeah, I mean, you get to smite late in that kind of scenario, because you can react to Jarvan's E showing up, and your smite does so much more damage, there's no reason to smite early, so I respect it. But it definitely is scary for someone who's not in control of the smite button.
I do like this play here from Sofa. He's just sitting in Raptor camp waiting for Triss to make that jump.
Tristana has to jump out for the first time in Banana's life, I think. But that will protect him from the Tryndamere, who has just constantly been around that Raptor pit.
Yeah, does not want to be over with the Cassiopeia. Little surprised the lane swap hasn't come in yet to move the Kog'Maw Lulu mid and put that Cassiopeia bot lane.
I mean, at the same time, Kog'Maw's happy. You know, being mid lane comes with its own issues if your mid lane tower is already dead. Tryndamere is lurking constantly around that Raptor pit. You really want to put Ren there whenever Tryndamere could show up from Raptor pit? I think it's okay to put Kog'Maw, extend the laning phase a little bit and say, you know, some people are saying you don't have to move out in your 20s anymore from your parents. Kog'Maw doesn't have to move out from bot lane until 20 minutes in the game, maybe. As Banana will jump to his Cassiopeia, and that will surely be enough protection. So they will back off.
Yeah, I can vouch for that
finds
too.
water right now. Yeah. Water does have some tools. Flash in from Volibear, though. Tryndamere is here first. Tristana's far behind. Orianna will whiff the ultimate, however. As bot lane pressure with Duddy. Will find this tower. Ren has to be careful because this tower will go down soon. It looks like Ren playing aggressive has made Duddy and Chaser back off, though, as the tower falls.
Yeah, I think they actually, if they wanted to force that situation, I think they kill the Kog'Maw there.
You know what? It's really hard whenever an enemy carry just walks up like that. They're like, do we really know where Volibear is? And maybe they did, but they didn't know. So they were like, you know what? Surely Ren wouldn't be walking up like this unless he had a plan, and I guess it worked, so.
The golden rule, if you don't see it on the minimap, it's in the nearest bush to you.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I do think bluffing would be very powerful in League of Legends, but sometimes at this level, you're just like, okay, Ren's inting, let's go for it. They respect it this time, though, so it does work out for him.
They do, and basically a killless. Yeah, it is. It's a deathless bot lane for both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Rakan's
And
one
like I
assist
said,
is on that roam.
if you escape bot lane with just a small CS deficit, that is a win for Kog'Maw. However, what's not a win for Kog'Maw is this 4-kill Orianna that I keep on bringing attention to, because that ultimate will kill Kog'Maw every time his flash is not available.
Yeah, that is the one scary part about this game, but you're still pretty happy with your Cassiopeia here. Like, Instrument is just putting in work.
That is an almost 60 CS lead it is a 60 CS lead at 22 minutes. I don't think I've seen that in coordinated play very often.
Yeah, it's the only reason this gold lead for Elysium isn't higher.
Rakana's going in for a pretty major engage. The W from Lulu used to speed up, and there's just no follow-up. Trinibeer's not going to go for that dive as Guster and Tristana also show up. The EQ misses from Duddy, so the engage will go out on him. He does have ultimate, has to flash out. Orianna ult is not finding the Kog'Maw. Doesn't really matter. It does find Kog'Maw, actually. The barrier is what protects him. Meanwhile, Instrument trying to fight 1v3. Finally, his team will appear as well. So Fanda using the ultimate to get that kill. Kog'Maw also goes down on the side to Orianna. Chaser is going to kite this out. Gets stunned. Has a shield from water. And that is a major win for Elysium as they get a 5-4-2.
Yeah, really respect what Instrument tried to do there, but I don't think the team was close enough to really capitalize on that. Tryndamere lives just long enough flashing over the wall or spinning over the wall. Like, and Watercat and Chaser are able to survive. So you got the jungle and the support.
I think the most crucial thing is that Watercat is able to get the ultimate on both Lulu and Kog'Maw. Lulu not able to use the ultimate before she dies. Kog'Maw did not flash out of the Orianna ultimate, and once that happens, the fight is essentially won.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Like, the damage threat was really all Instrument there.
For sure. I guess it isn't technically one if Instrument is able to... Oh, the crowd being engaged, flash out though, and now Duddy is a little bit in over his head as Instrument is able to open up on him as Dragon's up. They won the fight. They weren't able to get Dragon because it wasn't up yet. Instrument now able to get a key ultimate on Sofanda, who doesn't have ult yet from the last fight. Now Haya running for his life. He's Rakan, so he does get to do that. Ren trying to fight a 1v3. Orianna going for the burst. Lulu ult makes it a 2v3. That's enough for Instrument to walk in. Get the kill on Orianna. Get the kill on Haya. Get the kill on Chaser. And suddenly it's a 5-4-0 in the opposite direction of what we just saw.
Yeah, Bloom just flips this game on its head. What was a almost 6k gold lead drops to 2 in a heartbeat. With a really...
And that also will be their third dragon, which I feel like is the most key part of that fight.
Yeah, that is huge for Cassiopeia as well, since that's going to be also an ocean.
Now, Otacon and Baron are spawning again. I will have to check because I didn't see the pop-up. So, 1 second. Wow, it's really annoying when Fog War is happening. Okay, I don't know how to check this. Okay, it's Ruinous Otacon, guys. Everyone knows it's Ruinous Otacon. It only took me 5 seconds to 10 seconds to find out. But that does mean it's a Ruinous next to the Baron. Not quite as key as the Voracious being next to the Baron Pit. Still, those twin objectives being up is a major draw towards the top side for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and I think for the first time in this series, Bloom is in the driver's seat.
And they've got a Kog'Maw that's on Soul Point right now, which is a very nice place to be. So Fanda does find Banana Man. Banana Man has some tools to get out, so I think he'll be fine for now. But this side matchup is a little bit more awkward than Instrument into Sofanda, for sure. But I don't think Banana Man is going to jump in on Tryndamere, so I guess that's a plus. So yeah, we've got a 1k gold lead, but a 3 dragon to 1 on the other side of it, so definitely very close.
Yeah, it's extremely close. But I don't. You feel like you're in that lead. You've all been in those games before, and you lose that team fight. You get aced. You lose objectives. How good is your confidence taking that next team fight? That's gonna stick with you.
Okay, so we did see Instrument teleport towards the bot lane. That's going to be the signal for Elysium to start this Otacon. They also have Rakan able to zone out anyone that comes in. And Guster just has to face check and see how low the Otacon really is. There's also now a ball in that bush. Who can walk into that bush? It certainly isn't Rin. The ball does move, however, the stun comes out. And the L'Oreal into everything else! It will just be a wipe of Bloom off the map only! Instrument and Banana Man are able to walk away. And that will be Otacon potentially into Baron if Duddy Brains can find some health for himself. Oh no, he dies to the Otacon max range! Which means it is just Otacon still. You know, it's a little awkward. I'm sure he's kicking himself for that, but you would absolutely take that fight even if your Jarvan died. It just means you don't get Baron afterwards. However, they are absolutely back into a gold lead of 3k.
Yeah, and that is one hell of a way to bring yourself back into it. They find a fight without Instrument there, and it is a massive cleanup.
I never would ever want to walk into an Otacon with Orianna having ball in that tribush. That sounds like a nightmare. And it was a nightmare.
Yeah, that probably not the way you saw that going.
I mean, the sad part is like, you know, you pause right there. They're taking Otacon. I don't know if you could do anything differently. Like, you have to basically say, Rin, walk in and then flash out. And unfortunately, I guess he isn't able to flash out of the Orianna ult, so they just lose the fight. But there's no way around walking into that tribush in my mind. It's just checkmate whenever Instrument teleports bot lane. They start Otacon and have position of ball and tribush.
Yeah, like game straight back into Elysium's hand here.
However, they do. Oh, this is going to be another fight. Orianna teleports in. Rakan looking for the fight. Ren has no options, no cooldowns other than Lulu. There is no ball yet. It doesn't matter. They don't need Orianna. That will be two found in the mid lane. Potentially Cloudberry as well as Haya looking to claim another one for himself as he likes to do in his wins. And now they'll be able to collect the Baron that was robbed of them by the Otacon mere moments ago.
Yeah, they find the 5v3 fight as Banana and Instrument were off in the side lanes.
Okay, now there is an interesting window here. No, Dragon is just too late away. 45 seconds till Dragon spawns, but I think the Baron falls in time for Elysium to have complete control of the Dragon spawning. However, there is a window for at least Tristana to go in and get some vision or some control, and then maybe a steal attempt. And I think that is the only way back in for Bloom in the short term. Potentially they could go for long-term scaling of Kog'Maw Lulu with Soul being so far away for Elysium. But it is Soul spawning right now for Bloom if they can find any way to play around this Orianna ball, which I just don't think they can.
Yeah, I don't know how. You're not going to be able to play a 1-3-1 at this point. You need Instrument in these team fights.
Alright, so it will just be the Dragon going over. It is only second Dragon. So, while it feels really depressing to give up what would be Soul for you, it is the right play. And right now, once again, we're putting the eggs into this Kog'Maw basket, but it has to not be broken by an Orianna ball. And unfortunately, that just hasn't been, you know, materializing for Ren this entire game yet.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
Guster going a little deep right now. There's so much engaged from the enemy team. Can you really do it? You can't. Chaser will get the kill. Duddy, however, also over engaging. I think he dies here. No, just barely lives the Tristana ultimate. I think he would live anyways. Orianna finds Kog'Maw once again. There's no follow-up though with the Lulu ult and barrier. Ren is able to live. So it's not a complete disaster. Banana Man doing his old tricks of jumping in. Has to flash out. Will fall, however. And that means this inhibitor surely is going down. And there might be more with this Baron buff Sivir comp. I think they're going to walk away for now. but the game just got a lot harder to hold on to until this Kog'Maw is able to get a 4th item.
Yeah, once again, Instrument not in that fight.
And I think just unfortunately, Guster looking for some kind of desperation pick. And, you know, I can't really fault him for it. You're kind of at that point in the game where, sure, you've got the dragon, so you're not worried about soul, but if you don't make a play soon, it might be over before you can get anything. They just weren't able to find anything there. Banana Man also trying to follow up on anything, not able to get it. And now it looks even harder for Bloom to get back into this game and then the series.
Yeah, the side lane pressure, this wave management from Elysium has been flawless, if I can say. Like, constantly, these lanes are shoved in. It is forcing someone to answer or lose more of the base, which is why Instrument and normally Banana, somebody is always late to these fights, and they're outnumbered all the time.
So, they are committed here right now. Tristana is not available, however, so this inhibitor tower will fall. Orianna Ball is the #1 most important object on your screen right now. It right now bursts out Instrument quite a bit. Guster looking for anything. What he can find is a team running at him until he runs away. You can see Duddy also on the side. 280 carries right now, way too close to that ball. It scares me a little bit. They have to clear into Nexus. Baron will fall off soon, however. And without getting the Nexus towers down, which obviously respond, but still, you know, that's another pressure point. If the Baron falls off, they've gotten 2 inhibitors down. This is the moment where Rin can get some scaling. Banana Man as well. With 2 inhibitors down. And they don't have to worry about Soul for quite some time. However, with this teleport in from Orianna, it does look like Elysium are looking for lethal damage in the game and in the series. Aya has the ability to engage at any time. Not looking for it yet, though. Just looking for the tower. The ultimate finds Kog'Maw! Flash out from Rin is just too late! Every single time! Cassiopeia ult does find a lot of people, but all it will do is delay the inevitable, as everyone from Bloom falls except for Banana Man. And I believe that we are going to see the closeout of the 3-0 series for Elysium. Banana Man jumping in one final time. Still not able to find Watercat. And Elysium will close out this series 3-0.
Absolute disaster. Ren steps a pixel too close. And Watercat immediately makes him pay for it again to close out the series.
The Watercat Orianna ultimates were absolutely on point every single time. And unfortunately, Kog'Maw Lulu gets countered by one pick. It doesn't even feel like it was a Jarvan or a Khan carrying the ball situation. Watercat is just able, and her team is able to coordinate the fight so that way the ball is always where it needs to be. And Ren is just not able to flash out in time.
Yeah, positioning key in that matchup. You know, well played by Instrument to keep top there. Like, just really had it unlocked, made the game unplayable up there for Sofa. You know, Sofa really struggled that game, but yeah, Watercat.
I mean, at the same time, Sofanda playing from behind comes up with some play that almost no top laner would do. Bully the enemy jungler, bully the enemy mid laner, and make their lives hell. And Instrument is just not able to get enough pain for it to make it worth what Sofanda is able to get, just because of how far behind the mid lane matchup and jungle matchup were.
Yeah, really, really good, as you pointed out, for the Sofanda. Like, okay, you can't get CS in lane. What do? You start counter jungling. You're getting your CS one way or the other.
All right, so looking at the playoffs, obviously Elysium will be moving on to our finals next week. It looks like we've already got the other team of the bracket as well. It will be Clown Gaming Blood Moon, who also picked up a 3-0 against Syndicate Reds. So right now, I believe we've got essentially, 2 undefeated teams. Neither of these teams have lost a single game in playoffs, and they will be clashing off in the finals next week, so you do not want to miss that on the 9th.
Yeah, really excited. I don't think anyone expected a 3-0 between Syndicate and Cloud. Everybody expected that to be probably a little closer, maybe a 3-1 or going all 5. So big props to Clown really stepping up, and looking to be in top form here to take on Elysium in the finals next week.
And they absolutely will need to be with how Watercat is on fire right now, opposite to the name. But she has absolutely popped off in every game I've seen so far, and I'm excited to see her in the finals for sure.
Yeah, may need a slight rename to Firecat. I like it.
Well, thank you again, Soulkeeper, for casting this series with me. A very fun 3-0. And we're going to have to see the clash of the people that have just not lost a game in the playoffs next week.
Yeah, looks like that is shaping up to be quite a impressive game here.
Mm-hmm. And we will have to see which Titan falls first. But thank you all for joining us for this week. That will be at the end of the semifinals for Crusader.